Welcome to the Heel in the Face live wrestling show presents The Shooting Gallery.
What's the Shooting Gallery?
Now, it's the first ever shoot show.
It is?
This is episode 1.
Oh,
We're going to talk about the state of professional wrestling. A lot of stuff has gone on in the past week. This is a disclaimer. We are breaking down the fourth wall tonight for a couple of hours to allow the people who call in and the people who come to the studio time to vent their frustration and talk about certain things that may or may not bother them. So, viewers' discretion is advised. Hall monitor, take us into the show.
You just tuned in to the Heel in the Face live wrestling show here on Spreaker.com every Wednesday night.
Hey, you forgot to mention me, the new co-host.
I was
Smooth Boy Sith, Ryan Perry. And you forgot to mention Twitter, and they can follow us at Heel in the Face.
I was just going to get...
Just shut up!
Real?
Shut up! The two of you argue, you make me sick. We got a show to do. It's Wednesday night. Let's get it started.
For real? We're
Somebody
trying
get
to.
Leonardo to eat a rubber chicken and let the show begin.
I don't... All right, whatever.
Christmas.
Worship the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Heel in the Face radio show. Now, get ready to get kicked square in the balls.
And welcome to the Shooting Gallery.
Explain it. What's the Shooting Gallery?
Didn't I just explain it in the disclaimer?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
We're going to run our first ever shoot show. We're breaking down the fourth wall. We're going to have a few guests, maybe.
What's the fourth wall?
Why don't you explain what the fourth wall is?
Well, to me, what I think the fourth wall is to protect all you kids out there and to make sure you don't hear what you're not supposed to.
We're going to lift that veil tonight, and once about every other month or so that a topic comes that amuses us. You are invited to tweet us at Heel in Face. You are invited to call into the fan line, 631-386-8229. You are invited to be on the Spreaker chat, but you're always on the Spreaker chat.
Yeah, call in. Do whatever you got to do. Let your voice be heard.
About the topic at hand.
Wrestling, not wrestling, whatever it may be.
And tonight's topic is perfect for what's been going on over the past couple of days.
And it is?
We are going to talk about the state of professional wrestling. Both indie and, as it has occurred in the past couple of days, mainstream.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. In the mainstream, there have been some arrests. Somebody has taken their bull and gone home. In the independent scene, we're going to talk with a couple of guests about the state of independent wrestling on Long Island and in New York. We're going to talk about it from all standpoints. From fan standpoints, from wrestler standpoints, and from promoter standpoints. What do we think the three are doing right, and what we think the three need to improve and touch upon. So we're kind of breaking the walls down a little bit, if you want to coin a phrase. Although I think that one's been coined already.
Yeah, man, that's definitely has that's.
And this, by the way, this is in no way refers to the State of the Union address, which I had no idea was last night at all.
Yeah, what we do. I bet you sat down and watched.
I didn't sit down and watch that man speak, please.
I wouldn't, honestly, either. I'm not a big fan.
I need a handful of Velestine and Alkabis to figure out some of the stuff he's saying. And it all doesn't make sense anyway, because to me, he's a lame duck president.
Yeah, you have Teletubbies with you, too, while you're at it.
There you go. Teletubbies and purple elephants. So, like the State of the Union address, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and get into the meat and potatoes of it. Enjoy some music. Home monitor, take us out.
Real.
All types of things have been broken. All those bondages, all those spiritual holds. Go!
Hallelujah! Oh, she doesn't even want to have it!
I always wanna feel complete. Always searching for
All right.
And we're back.
Yes, we are, man.
That was
Yo.
actually, let's talk about Craving Strange for a second. You just heard this song, Awake and Alone.
Yeah, man. Also, they have a nice Facebook page. Check them out and go
And
ahead.
their new album drops soon, if it hasn't already.
It's going to actually release, what I was told is the same day that they're having a show, February 28th.
A Life Exceptional.
Yes, yes.
So you might want to check that out. And there'll be a Revolution in Amityville.
Yep, along with a bunch of other bands. If you do not check them out, I'm going to tell you the list of bands. You got Midnight Mob, Revel 9, Pedestrian Kickdown, Jackknife Stiletto. You know, if you know any of these guys in the bands, bring 10 people with you. Go check them out. You know, it's going to be one hell of a show. I guarantee it. And you know what? I'm into that stuff. I might even drop down and check them out myself. You know, how about you, Sean?
That I might too.
Yeah, doors open up at 7 o'clock.
Considering it, what day is that? Is that a Saturday or something?
It's 28th. I believe it's like a Friday, Saturday.
Because I'll be in the area because
Yeah.
I work in Amityville.
Yeah, yep, yeah. So,
And we do the show from Amityville.
so
And there are horrors in Amityville.
you really had to put that in?
I did.
Because now people might not show up.
I wasn't just talking.
But because of these
talking about the
bands, you
hotels
never
either.
know. Because it would be perfect for the, the ambiance of the town.
You mean ambiance?
Yeah, that. Yeah, well,
Yeah, don't say
listen.
ambiance. It sounds like you're ovulating.
Listen, why don't you turn your phone off, dude? Put it on vibrate or something, all right? Come on now. All right, Mr. Pepsi Cola boy?
It's Diet Pepsi. Thanks.
But, we got a lot of stuff going on, and...
we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
You know what?
But before we get... March what?
March 1st, man. I got to
I
say
guess
this.
before we get to the State of the Union, we
Yeah.
can talk about some
Let's quickly go through a little bit of local stuff. And March 1st, SWA comes back to NYWC. And guess what they come back with?
Lugs and Cocoa?
No.
No.
Snow Brawl.
Oh, Snow Brawl.
And guess who's coming back to town?
I heard. Wait, I heard it. The Little Birdie.
It's if you like that kind of like pretty cool music, man, Necro Butcher. He's going to be back.
And so will an oddity.
Oh, hey, you know what? Them two in the same building is like having kryptonite against Superman, okay? It's going to be awesome. I'll be there too, of course, but
No, you won't.
yeah, I will.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
You were fired in the middle
Well,
of the ring
you
by
know
Johnny
what?
Malloy.
Well, listen, and I'm going to kick you all in the ass because I could say it. I cannot be fired by a wrestler. I can only be fired by a fellow official, or I could be fired by the owner
Now,
of
because we
SWA.
went silent for 5 minutes, you might as well repeat yourself.
Yeah. Well, in the whole situation that you just said with the John Malloy fired me from SWA, he can't fire me. A wrestler
Why
cannot.
not? I saw it.
It doesn't matter. He cannot
I did with
officially.
these own eyes. I saw him fire you
All
in
right.
the middle of the
All right.
ring.
Let me put it in quotes. Jerry Werner, owner of SWA, is the only person in SWA that can relieve me of my duties permanently. And John Malloy does not have that authority at all as a wrestler. Any wrestler in the back. Locker room does not have that authority. So I was told from Jerry Werner.
But he's the world. He's
It
the
doesn't matter.
title
I don't.
holder.
It doesn't matter if he owns 10 of those titles. It doesn't matter at all. So I will be there come March 1st for Snow Brawl. So you better be there and check it out. Tickets will be on sale very soon. And Sean, you'll be there because you know why? I'm gonna be there.
Don't forget, the winner of the Snow Brawl Rumble gets.
#1 contendership.
There
So
go.
you know what? And guess who is back? And he was back at Mugs and Cocoa. Chris Caden. I'm
Chris
rooting
Caden was
for
back.
Chris Caden to get that #1 spot.
Really?
Yes.
You're rooting for Chris Caden now?
Yes. Why? Why should I not? You know, because that's what it's all about, man.
I guess so.
Real talent.
I don't know why you're rooting for him now when you
No.
probably paid off to have the man suspended.
No. I don't pay off people. I don't get paid off, and that's it. So let's get ready for Snowball, March 1st. SWA NYWC Sportatorium, 7:30 bell time. Doors open 6 o'clock.
So to recap, because the smooth voice Sid
had
just showed up.
Ryan Perry just walked in the door.
Sorry, I'm late.
What's going on there, Smooth?
What were you up to?
I'm sick.
You're still sick?
Yes.
I still got that little bit of a voice thing going
Yeah, I'm
too.
still
You two
sick.
got to stop kissing each other. You know that.
We gotta stop holding hands too.
Yeah, I know.
I can't stop.
Well, do that after hours.
That's what got us in trouble in the first place.
I'm gonna eat this delicious mini donut.
Yeah, that's all you need with this. Not feeling good, man.
Hey, I'm
Whatever.
snacking out on chips and diet soda.
What did I miss?
We were just talking quickly.
Well, we didn't. We kept all the meat for when you
so
came.
when I arrived, so I have something to vent off about. Okay.
Right. It's
Yep.
true. Damn true.
But, you know, we were going
I don't know
over
what you're talking about.
SWA, Snowball, really quick.
Okay.
And we were
And,
talking about how apparently Tommy isn't fired.
No.
What do you mean?
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
From SWA. And if you want, I'll fill you in.
Yeah, fill me in real quick. Give me the abridged
All right.
version. That's the short version for.
All right. Jerry Werner, owner. John Malloy, wrestler. Owner can only fire me. That's it. Plain and simple.
Okay.
Okay, so I was told from Jerry Werner to be there March 1st because I'm not fired. I'm still a part of the company till the end.
Any statement on why Head Rush didn't win the Battle Royal?
I
since
don't
you're still the actor, the director of authority, we can dive into that question.
Well, I wasn't told everything. I'm going to be getting bits and pieces within the next few days, and I'll come back when I'm here next Wednesday. I'll tell you everything that I can.
Good. I'm still waiting on an official statement. That's bothering me that I didn't get one yet.
What's that?
Why Head Rush lost the over-the-top rope Battle Royal by going through the middle and top rope.
That's a good
Bad
one. You
officiating.
know what? I will
That's what it
actually.
is.
I will bring that to Jerry Werner's attention and see what we
I
come.
want a statement.
Yeah, come up with on that.
I'm wondering why because we've been clamoring about this for weeks. Ever since the show after the award show. So I'm kind of wondering why nobody from SWA has kind of returned our calls or commented about this.
They're mad at me.
Why?
Oh, this
What'd
is the
you do?
shoot show, right?
We're
So I
going
said
everywhere.
That's true. It is.
They're mad at
That's
me.
true.
I got some heat with some referee. And it led to several phone calls. I mean, I'm getting heat, so I'm no surprise SWA is perhaps protesting the heel in the face live wrestling.
Well, for
show.
them to protest is fine, but,
But at the same time, it's like, there's still some answers that need to be put out there. Why did Head Rush lose if he went through the ropes when both referees saw it clear as day? I want to know why both referees didn't call it right then and there that, hey, he's still in the match. I also want to know why CJ Antonino is not number 1 on the power rankings. He's number 3.
well, you know what? Those are good questions, and those are ones that I'll bring to them,
Good.
and,
Hopefully I'll get an answer
we'll
next
find
week.
out.
I think
Definitely.
the public deserves an answer.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
Especially
so.
us media types.
Well, as in your case, Sean, the fan, I see it, and that's what we have to find out, and we will clear it up and get everything straightened out next week.
You know why I got heat?
Uh-oh.
Because I'm a Sith. I only deal in absolutes.
And that, my friend, is true.
Mm.
Hold on, do we have another song to play before we get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's show? Take us out.
You know, Rosemary, behind you, and I'm here. I'm always there. And I'm always with you. I'm here. I'm always there. I'm here right by your side. And I'm here. And I'm here along for the ride. And I see the angels fly above. And I see that you have had enough. You walk forever, may I roam. And no, you'll never be alone. I see your eyes filled with tears, and I'm here to comfort you, my dear. And just know I will never be home, and I know you'll never be alone. And I see the angels fly above, and I see that you have had enough, and you walk forever, may I roam. When I know you'll never find your home. Never find your home. You'll never find your home. You'll never find your home. You see my soul right by your side, and I'm still here. And I'm here alone for the ride. And just know that I had no choice. And I know it was my time to go. And I see the angels fly above, and I see that you have had enough. You walk forever, may I roam. And no, you'll never be alone. And I see the angels fly above, see them fly above, and I sing that you have had enough, that you have had enough, and you walk forever, may I roam. And no, you'll never be alone. Never be alone.
And we're back.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Home monitor gave me that signal.
So, all right. So, put this disclaimer out there again.
Okay, so tonight we're gonna break down the fourth wall.
We're shooting.
We're shooting. This is
But
the
what's,
shooting gallery.
again, I said it before, what's the fourth wall?
The fourth wall is all of that stuff that happens
That kids can't hear.
that you don't see
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
in
Okay.
the world of
We're
professionalism.
shooting. It's behind the scenes. It's, what's really going on.
What's on paper, basically?
And basically, we have a couple of people who are going to help us do it.
Who we got?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they're necessarily coming or have arrived yet, but I mean, the three of us. Let's take the three
All
of
right,
us
so-
for example.
Okay, so is there a particular spot that you want to start with?
Well,
What the topic of the
Well,
day is
you
the
know what?
state of wrestling, right?
let's talk about
You know
how
what?
the idea originated.
You know what? We could actually do it as this way inside the studio. Sean, fan. Ryan, wrestler/fan. Me, promoter fan. So that's right there. 3 different opinions right there.
So we have the mark, the
Yes.
worker, the promoter.
Yes. The strongest mark.
So the mark,
I'm the host.
the mark who feels fucked, the worker who gets fucked, and the promoter that does the fucking. Is basically what you're saying.
Pretty much what.
Yeah,
what
that's
that
how
is.
that's how they look at it.
Kids go to bed.
Everybody's framed.
All right. So is there a particular spot where you want to start
Well,
with the
let's get
state
to-
of wrestling?
Let's get to how the idea originated.
Okay.
During our awards show, which we are very proud that almost
Yes.
300 people have listened into thus far. At the end of the award show, if you were
2,100
listening,
votes. Okay, continue.
right? If you were listening, a discussion broke out between the Wrestler of the Year, Jack Gallo,
Mm-hmm.
the Champion of the Year, the Devil's Outlaw Stockade,
Uh
and the co-ring rat of the year,
huh. Dan Acosta.
Dan Acosta. And it kind of broke, and it kind of broke out, and it broke the fourth wall a little bit.
Oh, they shattered the fourth floor.
Excuse me. I said, "Great, what an idea for a show."
Okay, so we're shooting the shit out of the state of wrestling right now.
Well, that's right. We're shooting the shit.
All
We're
right.
going to talk about it. We're going to talk about different functions and different people involved in wrestling.
This is going to be a monthly occurrence with a different topic?
Yeah, we're
That's
going to
that's
try
the
to
goal.
make it a month.
Okay.
A monthly.
There is no try. It's either do or don't.
It's like
Well,
you know,
It's like Yoda
yeah.
said, man. There is no try.
Oh, stop dealing in
I'm
absolute.
just saying.
All right,
what
so
is-
we're going to do this once a month, and we're going to invite certain people by, or over the phone, or if you want to
there's-
call in.
There's some people right now that are like, I can't wait to call somebody and let them know what Ryan said. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to get thousands of phone calls tomorrow.
So we're going to invite you to call the fan line.
no.
What's the number?
631-386-8229.
Okay.
We're going to invite you to Twitter us at Heel and Face.
Tweet.
tweets.
You tweet us. They don't Twitter us. They tweet us. At Heel and Face.
You say wrestling gear, I say title boxing boots, okay?
Oh, that's not wrestling gear.
Why?
You can't have title
kidding?
boxing boots and have it be wrestling gear.
Yeah, man.
Doesn't work
Are
that
you
way. But
kidding?
continue. Only one who can get away with it is Brock Lesnar. Because
Mark.
that guy will legitimately fuck you up.
Up, I think we already started.
I'm just saying. Who's going to tell him no?
I would.
I don't
I
know.
think he's a fucking faggot.
I think
don't like
I think that fucking faggot will break your fucking
I
faggoty
don't
face.
like him. I don't like him.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I'm a big fan of Batista.
Wow, you're a fucking loser. There goes all my respect for you.
Instantly, like, just add
Holy
Miracle
shit,
Grow.
we're shooting already. All right, so where do you want to
Great.
start?
I
Sean,
think we
this is
already
your
did.
topic, so,
I think we did,
it's
man.
when it's Tommy's
How do you feel about with Batista coming back then, Ryan?
how do I feel? I don't really have a feeling either which way.
Honestly, I'm a big Batista fan, but I think
Because you're a mark.
he's screwing.
And a rubberneck.
No, I think he's screwing everybody that's already in that company.
No, you can't. No. You can't.
Right there.
Well, how-
I think they
you
should let him
can't-
start at the bottom of the
You
ladder.
can't
again.
stop. Well, no, that doesn't. One, it
Or
doesn't
in the
They
make
middle.
sense.
gave the
Yeah.
man a 2-year contract for an undisclosed amount of money.
Put it this way, it's not.
Yeah.
You can't put a particular wrestler unless Batista himself petitioned, "Hey, Hunter, let me come back, and when I come back, let me fuck over all the boys that have been working there."
Yeah.
No, most likely it was somebody else, one of the creative writers, or a combination of the creative writers, Hunter himself, Vince himself, Stephanie herself, that said, "Hey, we got this idea. Batista's looking to come back. We got this great idea." So you can't put it on Batista that he's fucking the boys over. It's like, hey, the company made the decision.
Out of 100%, I would say, all right, 40% of it.
No, you can't even
you
say
can't
it. Unless
even
you
say
were
that.
there in the
No.
room, you have to just assume that it was the company that made the decision to say, this is what we're going to do.
I don't know, but
They didn't
How many
expect...
I
people-
think it's cool,
as
though,
a
he's
promoter,
back.
As a promoter, how many people come to you and go, "You know what, Tommy? It's the first time on the show. I want to be in the main event." And how many
Many.
times would you, as a promoter, not laugh at that person?
I laugh at everyone that does, man. because they don't deserve it unless
Now,
it's
if you
given
believed in somebody
to
that
them.
much, if you believed in somebody and wanted to ride an ass load of money into somebody that much, then you as the
Yeah.
promoter might put them there, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. If
There's
they
a
put asses
right
in the
way
seat.
of going about this and a bad way of going about this. I don't like the argument that, it's predictable, because sometimes you need the predictable to actually happen. Yeah, like sometimes you just need it. Sometimes you
Right.
need the swerve. Sometimes you need it to just happen to be what it is. The right way of doing this is bringing in The Rock, who is a legitimate superstar in the world, period. End of discussion. The guy is a superstar. He's a celebrity. End of conversation right there. And that was done the right way.
Sean just wrote some. What
No,
you?
no.
Oh, okay. I was
Later.
going to say
That was done correctly. Then there's Batista, who is the fucking bootleg version of The Rock, whose movies nobody gives a goddamn dick about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Coming back, who's not as good a worker as The Rock, who can't cut a fucking promo like The Rock. I mean, he literally went out there on Monday Night Raw the next night after the Royal Rumble, cut a promo, and he said the same thing for literally 2 minutes, over and over and over. Regurgitated the same bullshit. I'm here because I told you I was going to be here for 3 reasons, and those 3 reasons are, and as you could say, blah, 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 and here's the 3 reasons, and look, now 2 are secure, and no, it's the 3. It's like, nobody gives a shit, bro. Get to the point. What's your point here? You don't care who's going to be? Whatever. So that was the wrong way of doing things. Predictable, would have been good when Chris Jericho came back and was in the Royal Rumble as his first match, and then lost to Sheamus. Predictable would have been good if Jericho had won. That's a good predictable. A bad predictable is Batista's back. He's one of 2 options that could possibly win the Royal Rumble. Fuck. He's probably the best option. Shit. He actually won it. And that's why he got booed out of the fucking building.
All right, so now
Yeah,
let's
that's-
spin
definitely.
this. So now let's spin this to another. Let's spin this 180. Reports are everywhere
Okay.
that CM Punk has taken his ball and gone home
Okay.
because of, and sources have cited the Batista push.
Well, right now it's all speculation.
Everything's speculation now.
Yeah.
So we
it-
can't
it
really
is.
comment on that particular. If it was because of the Batista push, it wasn't because of the Batista push. It's because of the part-timer push. Batista's just the
Yeah.
straw that breaks the camel's hump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Which, I would say, one, does CM Punk have the legal grounds to actually take his ball and go home?
I don't know. I'm not privy to his contract.
Exactly. So that's
No.
the first question.
Yeah.
If that was even an option for him to do, otherwise he'd be facing a lawsuit. The second thing is, there's no union in wrestling. So I'm not gonna shit on CM Punk for taking his ball and going home. If the reason is he's standing up for a cause that doesn't necessarily directly benefit himself. If it directly benefits himself, then fuck you. You're an asshole and you're a mark for yourself, and go the fuck home. I don't want to watch you. If it was because that should have been his spot, well, fuck you. Grow the fuck up, you crybaby. If it's because he's legitimately arguing this is bullshit because there's guys here that bust their asses off and this should be Daniel Bryan's spot, then it's not about him, and it's about the business as a whole. And then it's like, okay, I can see your point there, and I would say, okay, you did the right thing by going home.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because like I said
that's-
before, I said there's the fan who
Yeah.
feels like he gets fucked, the worker who gets fucked, and the promoter who does the fucking. And that's how it's always going to be. It's never going to change unless the culture itself changes. You're never going to hear somebody cry a river for the fucking promoter. Fuck you. You're the one in charge.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You know,
being the promoter, you
definitely.
get no fucking credit. You take all the shit. That's how it's supposed to be. And it's always the promoter fucking the worker.
Yeah.
Always. The promoters can try to spin it, but it's something the promoter did that fucked the worker, that caused the worker to say, fuck you. That's a lot
True.
of fucks in 1 second.
That's true. It does happen.
This is going to get that explicit tag.
It already did.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been fucked in the past by promoters, and you know what? I've took my experience and brought it, to my own company, and my thing is, I like the input of all the guys. Ryan, in the locker room, Give me your input. Let me know what you think, and we'll situate it and make it work in the ring. That's it.
Is
You
that
know.
true about him? I just want to know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say it's 100% guaranteed. You know, I mean, he's not going to come up to me for every little fucking thing.
No, but if I
Well, I
said,
just meant about
you know,
that specific
But yeah,
incident.
in general, yeah, I would say so. As a generality, yeah.
you know, because I don't want to. I want the worker to be happy. Number one, because a happy worker in that ring has excited fans, because those fans aren't going to be sitting. They're going to be jumping up and down because that worker's in that ring doing what he loves, and that's what it's about. So the other promoters that fuck the workers, I think you should realize the workers come first.
All right, I want to go over one more. I want to go over a couple more hot news stories
Okay.
that have been happening, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the state of professional wrestling.
Okay, which we've kind of already been delving into, but
Yeah,
okay.
but
Continue.
Yeah,
We're
we're
gonna get,
dabbling
like-
everywhere.
We're going to dive right into the indie scene
Okay.
after these few tidbits.
All right, come on. Bring it.
Matt Hardy and Reby Sky arrested,
Okay.
beating up on each other.
All right. I didn't really know that until about maybe 5 minutes ago when we were on break. But, all right, yeah. I mean, do we have all the details, or they were just arrested for domestic dispute between
It was a
themselves?
domestic dispute.
Shit happens,
There are
man.
pictures of them all messed up.
Shit happens.
You know, it does, and we wish them the best, and we hope they work it out.
Well, I'm not going to go that far necessarily.
I can, because I'm a fan.
All right, well, even as a fan, I mean, you broke a law. Whether it's you're beating the shit out of each other, you're still breaking a law, you know?
Oh,
But-
you don't know how.
But unless we have all the details, we
you
don't
don't know how it erupted. You know, you weren't the fly on the
Well.
wall.
Tommy's sitting over there very nervous. What else do we got?
Reports are rampant, like they are around every Royal Rumble, that Sting is either close to
Yes.
or has signed a deal with WWE.
Too little, too late.
Can't wait.
What are your thoughts?
Too little, too late. It would have been cool 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7
Would have
years
been
ago.
cool 3
Yeah.
years ago.
I don't even. Nah.
No, 5, 6.
No. I stopped really giving a shit after a while.
I'm a Sting fan, but 5, 6 years ago would have been worth it.
He's what, 50 something now?
52?
52,
cares?
yeah.
Who cares?
He's got, what, 20 years left
Who
in him.
cares? You know what's gonna happen? He's gonna walk in. The older marks are gonna fucking blow up. The younger marks are gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this?"
You
That's
kind of.
true, unless-
They've never been exposed to him, man.
You know
No.
what? This is something talking behind the scenes that Ryan has said to me. You know, if you bring in Greg the Hammer Valentine, you're going to have the older generation. You bring in Val Venus, you're going to have the newer and younger crowd. That's our
It's about
age.
understanding your demographic.
Yeah.
You
If
know.
you bring in
Greg-
John Cena,
yeah.
that's
Greg
different.
the Hammer Valentine, he's going to work if your demographic is a little bit older. Val Venus will work if your demographic is my age, around 30.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Sting will work to a certain extent, but if you're 13 or younger, 14 or younger, and you've only been exposed to WWE programming, you're going to have no clue who Sting is.
Yeah, yeah. Just like they might know who Greg the Hammer Valentine is,
Yeah.
but Sting,
Yeah, I just...
I see it. It would be cool, but I don't see it working that good.
I mean, like, I'm not going to totally knock on it. If he's coming in and he's going to put over a guy like Bray Wyatt, you know what I'm saying, then good. Good. He's still a name. You know, let's build some more stars.
Yeah, but
You
it's not gonna do like a.
If he's coming in to work The Undertaker, it's a cool spectacle, but
that would be cool.
it's not going to be what should have ever happened. What should have ever happened was 10 years ago, and it didn't happen, and we're never going to get that. Now you're just going to have two 50-year-olds beating the shit out of each other. You know?
Yeah, they'll be coming out with their walkers. Yeah, might
You
as
know,
well.
So, like, it's not as cool.
I want to see you stand in front of The Undertaker and tell him he needs a walker.
I would.
Yeah, same way you'd shit your pants if you ever said something to Brock Lesnar that he didn't like.
I would.
You're such a liar. Your face would be mangled, bro.
Hamburger, that's what I can tell you.
This guy would legitimately rip your head off.
Honestly, I wouldn't. I'm not afraid.
You don't have to
He
be
might
afraid.
down
You
your
can just
neck.
be stupid crazy.
I
all
wouldn't.
right, so what else, Sean? Is that it? That's all your tidbits?
That's all my
for
tidbits
big
that I
news?
wanted to
Okay,
talk
so
about.
now what do you want to dive into? Indie wrestling?
Let's dive in.
Fuck the promoters. That's what I got to say. I'm waiting. It's gonna happen, man. Tommy's gonna fuck me as a worker somehow. It's gonna happen.
No.
It's just, no.
We're
It's
talking-
gonna happen. Just by you saying no, you're already fucking me.
No.
And
I'm
somehow.
saying no on.
Yeah.
I know it was the first show, and
Gonna get fucked.
not even talking our relationship from here to the locker room. None of that. In the locker room in general. You come up to me, I had this idea.
Yeah.
Fine. I think that's okay. Maybe change this.
Okay.
But we agree upon something to
Yes.
make a foundation.
But somewhere along the line, I'm gonna get fucked.
no, that's
Somebody else's idea that you're gonna sign off on is gonna fuck me in the process, and that's what we mean. That's what we mean.
Well, that's why I have you as a creative
Yeah.
person
I'm just
for
saying,
the company, so I'm not worried about it.
it's gonna happen. It's just how
right.
it works.
So now let's break down the fourth wall completely.
It's not already broken down. All right. Fucking news to me.
I know, right? Shit. Where the fuck
You guys
are
are
you?
in rare form today.
You told us shoot show. We're like, yo, we're gonna use every curse word that we can't use the other 3 weeks of the month. All right, come on,
All right,
come
here
on,
we go.
Sean, come on, the mark. You're the mark.
So, my question to you guys, at least until somebody else shows up, would be this.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go step by step. We're gonna talk about indie promoters for a little bit.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about indie wrestlers for a little bit.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about indie fans for a little bit.
Okay.
And somewhere in between that whole mess, we're gonna mash in indie referees.
Okay. So we're talking about dickheads, and a little bit of dickheads.
So
You
basically,
really are in rare form
Yes.
today.
basically dicks. That's
So
it.
basically a whole bunch of dickheads.
And fans.
Dickheads. Okay. Continue.
Marked out dickheads.
Wow.
Okay, continue.
I-
We need to show the separation of the
So,
dickheads. Okay.
So here we go. The fan line, 631-386-8229. You got something to say to these bozos or me? You go right ahead and do that.
You're on their side, man. What are you
tweet
talking
at
about?
heel and face. That's what
You
I
mark
said. That's why I said these boneheads and then me.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so where do you want to start?
Let's start with the top.
The promoters.
Indie promoters.
Dickheads.
No,
And-
No, not all of them.
Now
Not all of them.
let's be serious. Let's leave the cursing. Let's leave the cursing. to
Not
a
all of
minimum,
them. Not like what
And
Ryan
let's
just
be
said.
serious.
Not all of them.
Most of them.
In
If you take out of indie wrestling
see-
on the East
Well,
Coast,
Sean, what's your question first?
yeah, go ahead.
in our humble opinions,
Okay.
are indie promoters doing enough for the sport
No.
or for the business?
As a
right now?
general, no.
And why do you think not?
They're just because they could be doing so much more.
Some are trying, but some aren't.
Like,
Like
Some don't care.
form a territory. Put
Yeah.
your stupid bullshit egos aside. Form a territory. You want to get strong again? Form a territory. But they won't because they got their egos in the mind.
And also promoters saying you can't work for that company, you work for my company. That shit is a no. If you have a contract, then that's different.
you know,
If you have a contract, you don't have to tell
Yeah.
them that. That's in the
But
contract.
but basically, what I'm trying to say, like some promoters,
Yeah.
they tell you, Ryan, you can't work for another
Well, I tell
company.
them to go fuck themselves, and then I work wherever I want to work.
Plain and simple. There you go. Unless you say, give me a contract.
I think I sense where you're referencing on this one, and I sense the hypocrisy of that, because a lot of times what happens is they tell X amount of guys you can't work there, and then
Yep.
they don't tell every guy there that you're not allowed to work there.
yeah.
You know, it came up recently. Somebody had said, "Hey, such and such, you can't work this show." And there was a bunch of guys who work for both promotions that were working this one particular show. Show A was the show that was taking place. And Show A took place, and then a bunch of guys that worked Show A also work on Show B. And then what happened was the guys who were working Show A got together in the locker room and said, "Hey, was this said to each and every one of you?" And I would say, it was just say, let's keep it round numbers. There was 10 guys in that little clumping.
But that's like a star with 5
And-
points, though.
and
Definitely.
yeah, and there was 10 guys in that clumping, and 8 of them, only 8 of them, were told they weren't allowed to work Show A because they work Show B for a separate promotion. The other 2 that weren't told that happened to be bigger names on the independent scene. So to me, that says you're chicken shit for not telling them all the same thing, You know, or you just want to have claim on somebody's intellectual property, which is themselves, which you don't have claim on. That's their intellectual property. That's them. You can't lay claim to another individual if there is no contract.
Oh, wow. I don't even have to say anything else on that.
Because I tell you what, the two guys who weren't told that, and trust me, we all had a nice little roundabout discussion about this. They would have told the guy who runs Show B, go fuck yourself. Don't like it, don't book me. I don't need your bookings. But the guy who runs Show B knows, hey, I kind of need them to move tickets because they're some of the guys who actually, you know, don't have to sell tickets to get on shows, which is another topic we'll talk about when we get to the worker section. They actually, you know, can move tickets themselves just by being on the shows.
I know what you're saying. There's names.
So I need them. So I'll tell these guys who have to sell tickets or whatever it is, they're not as big of names. You can't work here because I'll put the pressure on you. And because you don't have as much exposure, you're going to feel it more because there's going to be less places for you to work. Which is bullshit. That's promoters fucking the workers. Go fuck yourselves. Sean?
Not at Stronghold, sorry. Definitely not.
Not at Show A.
No, definitely not. Because you know what? Honestly, at Stronghold, I have guys that are on the roster that don't sell tickets because they don't need to. They're
You shouldn't have any guys on the roster.
I really don't.
Tickets.
You know, I have guys that do because.
Shouldn't. And we'll
but
argue
I'll.
about this when we get to
Yes,
the
we
worker
will.
section.
But you know what? They do it because they want to help out, which I appreciate.
Well, we're gonna
you know,
differentiate. Okay, but
I'm
stay with
not. I'm not an asshole promoter.
Let's stay with promoters. Now you're a promoter that automatically qualifies.
Actually, you know what? As a matter of fact, I think roster versus non-roster should really be a promoter issue.
Non-roster. I have a non-roster.
What do you mean non-roster?
That's not what I. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, you have a promotion, and by you, I'm you in quotes, so you understood.
Okay.
You have a promotion Facebook page. You have a promotion website.
Okay.
And on every independent and some others that I've seen, there's always a roster page.
Yeah.
And the roster page includes people who have wrestled for the show.
Okay. We get what a roster is, but what are you
Right.
talking about?
Okay.
Right. My point is don't you define a roster as a compensated on a regular basis?
A roster in wrestling is guys that are permanently with you that you don't even need to worry about. If you say this date, there's another show. This date, they're there. You know, they tell you, okay, we're there no matter what. We're there for your company. But they're working other companies too, which is great because me personally, and I'm not speaking for no other promoter but myself, is if they're going to work other companies, I love it because you know why? They expose themselves. I'm not worried about me. Expose you. Get yourself, get your name out there, and get noticed.
Okay. Let's we'll talk about roster in a little bit.
That's roster. Those are guys that are dedicated to your company.
Then you have the rosters that
don't
fly
give a
in
shit.
from very far. We call them Rastafarians.
No, those you idiot.
And they be bringing the garbage bags of grass, man.
From Colorado. All right, continue.
Okay.
That was good, though.
So, that was bad but good. We're talking about promoters.
Oh, man.
And since you're fresh off the blocks, Tommy is a promoter, I have to ask you.
Who'd you fuck first? Okay, no, continue, Sean.
Define your job function as a promoter.
It's honestly, it's a big plate, I'll tell you. You know, Ryan, you know, him in the locker room helping me out, along with other people I've had in the locker room helping. You basically got to set the matches, you know,
Wait.
like their opponents
Wait.
the feuds that are going on.
Wait. Before we even get to the match writing and the event, from day one, I am going to put on a wrestling show.
Day one?
Describe your specific job functions as a promoter.
I think he was, and you fucking cut him
Yeah,
off.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, he
was doing
did,
it,
man.
He was doing
He
it. in
did.
his-
Well, he was going
No.
through.
It was like-
he wasn't following with continuous timeline. He was just
Yeah.
starting to spew off his daily,
Yeah, the daily
functions.
thing.
But okay.
But as I was saying, is that you set up your card for that night, that show, and you say, okay, these guys got a feud, these guys, whatever. You get your card set, and then at that you start making phone calls
Phone calls to whom?
to all the workers. You tell them, listen, are you available for this date? It's at this building, this location.
Okay, from this point forward, I just have to stop you. Quick reminder. Even though we're running a shoot show, could you please, for the benefit of those listening, refer to workers as wrestlers?
Why?
Just so the fan.
Oh, so
would
because he
understand.
has.
But here's the thing, though. Workers also includes, in a sense, the referees, the managers.
Well,
blah,
we've
blah,
got
blah.
those.
Yes.
We've got
Yes,
some
it
of
does.
them in their own little spots.
Well, he's got his own.
But
little
he's saying he's got to
categories.
call all the workers and get this all set up, so he's not just referring to
No.
just the wrestlers. in
Right.
there.
So can we
all
please
right,
refer
all
to
right.
them as their
I-
names?
All right, in light bulbs, with light bulbs, big ones, I'll say referees I have to call, workers / wrestlers I have to call. Okay, is that better for you, Sean?
Well, I'm just trying to layman
Oh
terms
yeah,
it
for the
fans.
stupid marks. Okay,
They're listening. They don't know shit about wrestling. And
Yeah.
shut the fuck up and just listen, and you'll learn
and
something
enjoy
about
it,
wrestling.
because wrestling's awesome. But yeah,
was.
I got to call.
He's a promoter, so he's supposed to say that.
I got to call the workers. I got to call the referees, and whatever else I got to do, which is media. We have to call several different radio stations, stuff like that, if we're going to do that kind of stuff. Newspapers, so it's a big thing. It's not a small overnight process. To do one show could run you about 2 to 3 weeks just to do it. Sometimes it could run you 2 to 3 months if it's a huge one. It depends on where you want to go with that show. Like, for example, it's not my show coming up on March 1st. Is SWA show, Snowball. That's a structured show. It has its own foundation. I know. Listen, Ryan, I know.
Continue.
I know.
I didn't say anything.
I
Continue.
took a mud pie and threw it
Okay.
against the wall. I'm sorry.
All right, so March 1st, SWA.
All right, but SWA, they had that already structured. That show title is, it's awesome. Snowball. I would use it if it wasn't taken. But they had their talent. Necro Butcher is back, kind of thing. It's gonna be a great show. That's how it's all about calling your talent / workers, wrestlers, however you want to put it, your referees, getting everything out there. And Ryan here helps me out with the media, which is great. Now on the next thing is tickets. You got to get ticket outlets, posters made up. It's a big thing. Any other thing that you want to know? Sean?
Come on, Sean. It's radio. Nobody can see you. Waiting.
Yeah, looking at me like, shoot, take a picture. Come on.
No, you can go on with
Well, that's basically it.
There's a lot of media. It's a lot of
Yeah.
grunt work, handing out the club
It is.
cards, flyers, all that kind of stuff. You got to get the tickets. You got to push the tickets. You got
Yeah, it's a
you
lot
got
of-
to actually fucking promote
Yeah,
the show.
You know what? And you know what? And honestly,
Thank
Ryan,
because I was looking for that.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
about to go
Yeah.
into the whole
Hence your
Adam
name,
Sandler,
promoter.
we had war,
you know what?
speech.
And I put Ryan on a pedestal a little with the first show for Stronghold because he took out of his own day, his own time, and met me somewhere. I'm not telling you where, but took flyers and we went and we just put flyers out for a day, 2 days. We did it. Without Ryan's help, half the stuff wouldn't have happened. And I have Jack Gallo, the rest of the guys, and I appreciate them. Because without them helping out, that's what it's about. We're a family. We're not about there's no I in me.
When you
Team.
say what there's a me, when you say family, you're referring to Stronghold or wrestling?
Stronghold.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Because
Okay.
Stronghold, we're a family. You know that.
Now I'm going to take that answer to my question, and while I'm sorting it through in my mind,
Okay.
Ryan,
Yeah.
I am going to ask you practically the same question I asked him,
Okay.
which is, what do you feel a promoter's job function is?
To promote, literally. Any which way you can possibly promote. Too many guys rely solely on Facebook. Go fuck yourself. Facebook itself is not going to work. The same way that club cards by themselves won't work. You have to it's got to be a multifaceted attack. It's literally going to local venues. Hey, I'm not going to throw out everything that I know and what you do because I don't want to give anybody else ideas. I want them to either fucking adapt or die. Because hey, listen, you either adapt or you die, and that's what makes the business better.
Use your brain.
Yeah. But it's dealing, and I'm sure this is really a big factor for Tommy. He didn't mention it's dealing with the bullshit that goes on with throwing a show from either rival promotions that are got their panties in a fucking bunch, because they're nervous.
You want me to say it?
No. I'm not putting you on the spot, because I'm sure this happens. This happens with every single promotion. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it, not just Stronghold. The next rival promoter basically doesn't want that guy to succeed. You know what I'm saying? But I'll throw it out there. Fuck you, VPW. I'll throw it out there.
I was going to say it,
because VPW and their fucking dick bags, were taking down all of Tommy's flyers and promotions that he was doing. So fuck you. You can't even call us back about getting on the air. Get with some of your talent. Email you 3 or 4 times. Have no other contact way. Information. Can't even just write us an email back saying, hey, we're not interested. Go fuck yourselves then. And I actually liked your show.
And you know what? I know it's your turn of talking. Honestly, you put up a poster as another promoter, another company, whatever it is, whether it's boxing, MMA, wrestling, I wouldn't touch it. And I wouldn't want my guys on my staff to touch it either, because to me that's disrespect. But VPW, I lost respect. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying all the guys
no,
over there.
Me. I'm saying me. This is
and I'm not
word.
saying because they have amazing guys over there too.
No,
it's
I'm
just,
not.
But some of their fucking scumbag fucks, decided, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and guess what? It didn't matter. Didn't matter.
You know what? And I'll say the number. We pulled in 215 at the door.
Okay.
First show.
That's a pretty respectable number. I was gonna go to their King of New York shit, that VPW did last week, and I called you up that day. I was like, on a second thought, they don't even have the common decency just to respond back to us. Go fuck yourselves, And that's not me being biased either, because I'll cover them. You know what I'm saying? When the time comes, and I'll do it fairly. But in this particular instance, you're a bunch of cowards. And I'll say it. And hey, maybe you'll finally respond back to one of my emails. Maybe you'll actually call in. Maybe you'll stop by the studio and start some shit with me so I can headbutt you right in your fucking nose, knock you the fuck out.
I have a candlestick in the car.
I don't need no weapons.
You must be on cold medicine.
I'll pull a goddamn Matt Hardy and domestic abuse your ass. I don't give a shit.
He is NyQuil.
Like, let's go. You want to have, or you can have a grown-up conversation with me. I'm willing to do either one.
Nah, that
where I won't curse. I'll listen to your views. I'll hear them out. I'll counter-argue them. You can counter-argue my opinions, blah, blah, blah. Let's do it, But what you did was shady. Shady. Was cheap. And had I been there and saw it myself, there would have been a fight.
Well, VPW, let's be honest.
Let's be honest. I wouldn't do that. And they put up their stupid bullshit yellow and black, Saturday night fucking community center wrestling, blah, 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 all around my neighborhood. You know how easy it would be for me to just snatch up every single one of those signs? It would take me 20 minutes just walking up and down my neighborhood. So don't play those fucking games with me.
No, nobody's playing games. I was just going to say, to be honest, VPW, not the only promotion that does such a thing.
No, I'm sure there's a lot of them.
There's probably others out there, but there's one that I guarantee that doesn't, and it's NYWC. I guarantee they don't, because they have respect. They do. They have that respect.
They run in the same area.
In my opinion, they don't need to.
Yeah, but they have
respect. They'll outsell every single person.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not on their level, but I will be there, and let me tell you something. I have respect for every Fed out there. It doesn't matter.
I don't.
Well, I have the respect, but there's one I lost it. That's VPW.
I don't know.
Why would you turn around and destroy my shit, especially when I don't even touch yours? And I see it at diners. I see it in delis. Let me tell you, Mason Shadows, me and him, a couple of days ago before the show, we went out and put up posters and handed out flyers just like Ryan helped out. You know what? I seen VPW stuff up there. I didn't touch it. I don't need to. I wasn't like that. I put my stuff right next to it. Let the public decide what show to go to, not you as the promoter.
Well, they're cheap fucks, that's why.
Now I'm going to turn the question around on me.
Okay.
What I expect from a promoter.
Should you even know what to expect from a promoter, though?
You don't know what you
from
should.
a fan standpoint,
You should expect
a promoter
the show to be awesome.
From a fan standpoint, what I expect a promoter to bring to me.
Listen,
is a show
like I just said. I went into a diner. I seen two posts. My post on VPW. You look at those posters. You say, "Oh, this guy's on that show. This guy. I like these guys. That show. This guy's on it too. This guy. This guy. I like that." 2 different days. You go to both shows. What do you expect? An awesome show. There's nothing else.
That's great. Can I answer my question now?
Go ahead.
Great. What I expect from a promoter is to be able to see the best show that they can possibly put together.
Well, yeah. That should be the promoter's job as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what I, as a fan, expecting from a promoter.
Okay. What's the call-in number again, in case somebody wants to call in?
Yeah,
631-386-8229.
I'll make
Twitter.
these motherfuckers look like fucking mental midgets.
Twitter. Come on.
We're going to take a short break.
Are we?
Shoot out
Fuck!
the Twitter-
We are.
Hey, before we do, shoot out the Twitter and Facebook.
At Heel and Face.
Yeah.
And in the immortal words of fucking Iron Sheik, fucking bullshit.
Some bitch.
When we come back, we're going to talk about wrestlers. Paul Monitor, take us out.
Access unknown. Sargon the insegmentable from the mighty conceptual elements. About to fuck shit up. We are the black sheep. Yeah, this was called Black Sheep, motherfucker. I used to be sad, so shallow. When I get down to the gallows, Something to make them cover their face and hug the pillow and take a kill dose of some pill slow. They wanted me to stop, and I should've, but I couldn't front on the front that I put up. My family wouldn't throw up a branch for me. What? I think I'm cursed with some sense of me. I know that the choice is mine. I hear you screaming in the back of my mind. I've made mistakes, I've lived and learned. Respect me, I think my time is served. I should've stopped dealing with the lies of pain. I should've stopped dealing with the lies of pain. Sick and tired of you always putting me down. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't put you on a higher ground. You think your ways are better than mine. We're trying to get over it. What don't you think it's time? I know you don't like the things that I do. You call me irresponsible because I wasn't folding after you. Look at you alive and tell me what you see. Look into your eyes before you try and judge me. I should've stopped dealing with the lies of pain. I should've stopped dealing with the lies of pain. I should've stopped dealing with the lies of pain. I should've stopped dealing with the lies and pain.
And we're back.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we are back. And you know
we're
what?
talking about the state of professional wrestling as a whole, but we've kind of moved away from the mainstream, and now we're back in the indies where we belong.
Yeah, and the next we did promoter, indie
We
promoter.
talked a little bit about what
And
a
what's the
promoter
next
is.
one?
Wrestlers.
Workers.
Workers. In your sense, we call it workers.
I am aware of some of the terms, thank you.
Oh Lord! You know what? You're a mark, the biggest. You should have mark on your head, on your forehead, a big stamp. I'm serious.
Any old ways.
Sorry, my best friend was sending me pictures of herself.
That's cool.
Ah,
I think I have one of those pictures on my phone.
You better not.
wow.
Titties are for me and for me only. No, okay, continue.
You can't play with them. Sorry.
So we're talking about wrestlers.
Yep.
Wow.
Just as big a marks as anybody else, but okay.
Well, as they should be, because
We've had
after
our...
all, you weren't a mark to begin with. What got you into the business?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all were originally.
All right, so what about wrestlers you want to know, Sean?
I guess we'll move right along.
Yes, continue. Let's go. Time is of the essence, my friend.
Yeah.
Not
definitely.
really, but let's go.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna talk about a few brands of wrestlers,
Okay.
and one of them I'd like to talk about are ticket sellers.
And they're not wrestlers.
That's not definitely.
They're not wrestlers.
No.
How could you say that?
You just
Because
said
they're
it.
fucking ticket sellers.
You just said it. Ticket
But they could be
sellers.
ticket sellers and wrestlers.
All right.
No.
Well, like you just. I'm sorry, Brian. Like what you said earlier about roster. What's the difference? Roster is guys that are a part of the company, part of that foundation. Okay. Ticket sellers are two different things. Two different things.
Tommy, before I get old Jim Ross on you.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Jim Ross.
Definition of a ticket seller.
Somebody who needs to move a certain amount of tickets to be on a show.
Yeah.
And whose necessary fault is that definition?
What do you mean?
Like,
Whose fault is that? It's the scumbag promoter who's fucking killing the business for using these guys, and it's these fucking assholes who aren't good enough to go actually train at a legitimate school, and train, not just from fucking bullshit. Oh, I trained for 2 months. No, go fuck yourself. You're not trained. You know what I'm saying? You learned what in 2 months? A universal spot? Congratulations. You know, you're not a worker. You're a fucking asshole taking somebody else's spot.
now,
No better than Batista.
what about a ticket seller that has been trained?
Then they
I think
obviously weren't trained. If they still need to sell tickets to get on shows,
Like, for
it's
example,
different. If Tommy came to me and said, "Ryan, I need you to sell 10 shows, to get on the Stronghold card," I'd turn to Tommy and be like, "Go fuck yourself." If
Now-
Tommy said, "Hey, Ryan, you're on the show. Here's some tickets in case you know anybody who wants to buy tickets directly from you," that's different.
and I'll put it out there before you
and
go,
therein-
Sean. Like Ryan just said, Ryan said to me himself, "Give me 10 tickets for the first show." The Strong. He came to me and said, "Just I have friends. I'll, whatever. I don't mind." He did it himself. That's his choice. I didn't say you have to. He came to me and
That's the
said, "Give me."
difference. When the
That's respect. That's what it is.
Listen, you want to move tickets to help a show? That's fine. But when you have to move tickets
Yeah.
to be on the show,
Yeah,
that's different.
I could show you.
What about
That's when you get stiffed.
I
when
could
you actually
show
work
you-
somebody who's legitimate.
I could show you a list as tall as I am of guys on Long Island that will sell tickets to be on the show in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
That's an awfully short list.
Haha, very funny. 5'4", man, 5'5". It's a long list, and let me tell you, there's a lot of guys out there that'll do it, and half of those guys are backyarders. The other half weren't trained. Maybe 1, 2 months, 3 months, like Ryan said, in a school, and then left because they can't deal with it. And they use that school to back them up, to bring them into a company and screw the company, because the company also screws those guys, has them become ticket sellers. It makes the guys that work hard look like shit because of these guys. That's why those ticket sellers got to be eliminated. And they will be.
Okay,
Go
so,
train.
So we're clearly defining quote unquote ticket sellers as somebody who needs to move a certain amount of tickets.
Yes.
Has to.
Yes.
To be on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
As opposed to wrestlers who are just given
Tickets
to sell,
that's awesome.
and they're already booked on the
Yes.
call.
No, right? They're not given the tickets. If they come to me personally, like Ryan, he said, "Hey, Tom, you got tickets? I'll take 10." And all right, fine. It's not that he has to.
And the irony is, most of my friends wound up buying tickets at the door.
Yeah. He sold his tickets, and then he goes, "Oh, I have like 10, 15 more at the door or whatever." I said, "Okay. You know what? It's not that he needs to do it. They did it. He helped out, and that's what makes a company. Not having ticket sellers that are unexperienced coming to the show."
And let's put it this way. You can watch a wrestling show, you'll know who the ticket sellers are.
Yeah.
You'll know.
And you don't want to put their names
You'll
out
know
there,
because
but
they
yeah.
have no flow to their match. Because they weren't fucking trained. Or they got robbed. Because they were trained and they got robbed by some fucking nimwit who had no business training anybody.
Yeah.
I already know the answer to this question, and probably most of the people do before I ask it. But I'm going to ask it anyway. Ticket sellers.
Mm-hmm.
How do they hurt the product?
Because they're taking spots away from guys that deserve to be on the cards, right? But why would a promoter say, "Hey, let me pay this guy who deserves this amount of money because he's actually a good worker and will, help us build our base? Why should I pay him, say, $50 for the night, right? When I can go and get 10 ticket sellers who I don't have to pay, who have to purchase or have to, basically pay me, you know what I'm saying? In some cases, it's pay me the money up front and then sell the tickets or whatever. Why pay a guy $50 who doesn't have to move a single ticket himself, right? And when I can give 10 ticket sellers, 10 tickets each. And they all have to move these 10 tickets each. That's 100 tickets guaranteed. Here's the problem, though. Ticket sellers generally sell to their families. And after a few fucking times on the card, their family goes ahead and says, listen, I'm not really a fan of wrestling. I'm just going to see you on the show. You know, I don't want to go see another wrestling show.
And
So you just spent 6 shows using these ticket sellers, right? Where you should have been building a fan base, and you didn't build shit.
But you forgot one other point Ryan.
Well, here's my point as a fan.
One second that Ryan was saying, you have 200 people in the crowd, or 300, whatever it may be. Those ticket sellers brought them in. By the end of the night, you have 100 or 50 people in the seats. You know why? You know why? Because your ticket sellers sold those tickets. You know what? Oh, I came and seen my nephew. I came and seen my best friend. I'm done. I'm going home. I don't really like wrestling, like Ryan said, or I like wrestling. And I'll watch, maybe a match after his. I'm done. All right. That's it.
When I went to Tommy, he said, give me 10 tickets or whatever, I sold the tickets to people who are wrestling fans that I know.
But I had 200 people from beginning to end.
They didn't leave after intermission.
I had 200 sitting there, and I had to even have people standing.
Go watch a show, and watch it from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. You'll know if that show used ticket sellers from the matches they put on and by the amount of people that are still there at the end of the show.
That's it. Now your question.
Sean. I was just going to say
so that fucking shits on the business.
Yeah.
It hurts the business.
It looks bad because, say you're not a big fan of wrestling, but you're bringing your grandson, your nephew, or whatever, and you're a little late. You walk in, there's 100 people there. You walk in on the third match, and there's 100 people. You know what that looks like? That's like going to a store and having no product on the shelves.
Here's the other thing, too, right? Tommy brought it up when we were talking about VPW. There was his sign and VPW's sign, right? I, as a fan, decide, let me go see VPW's show. I'm not accusing them of this. All right, let's just put it this way. You have 2 signs. One sign is for promotion X. The other sign is for promotion Y, right? I decide I'm going to go see promotion Y. I've never really been to a wrestling show, but it looks cool. Let me go see it. I know of wrestling, and I know it's, whatever. But I've never actually been to see a live wrestling show. So I go see Promotion Y. Promotion Y has 10 ticket sellers on their show. And it's fucking awful. And the fans are fucking just like, this is fucking bullshit. And I'm in the crowd. I'm a fan. I'm just watching. I'm here with this is fucking terrible. Why the fuck would anybody pay to see this? Blah, 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 right? My first experience ever being at a live wrestling show is now ruined. So next time I see Promotion X with one of their flyers for Promotion Y fucking shit the bed and killed itself, and they can't run shows anymore, I'm going to see Promotion X. I'm going to associate it with what I saw with Promotion Y. Fuck that. They probably do the same shit. I'm not going to go buy a ticket for Promotion X.
Yep.
You hurt the business.
There you
that
go.
goes back to promoters. You're cocksuckers.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
It goes to the guys who want to call themselves fucking workers. You're not workers.
You're money marks. That's what you are.
I get paid.
We're going to get to a whole
I get
set
paid
of that
to
in a
wrestle.
second.
I get paid to wrestle. And I've been consistently paid to wrestle. Every so often I'll do a favor for a friend and work a show, which I probably shouldn't do. And I'll work it for free. I should never do that, but I do it because, you know what? At the end of the day, I make a shitload of money with my actual real job. That wrestling, for me, is something I love to do, and I will do it so long as I can, as long as my body holds up. But you're going to fucking pay me. If you're my friend and you're a close friend and you need the help, all right, maybe I'll work it for free. That ain't going to happen every time.
Yeah, hey, you know what? And I'll tell you, Ryan came in for free on Stronghold's first show, and I appreciated him.
Yeah.
But out of respect between us, next show, I'm going to say here. That's what I have to do because that's the way it goes.
Now let's define this a little deeper.
Well, that's what I was getting at. You're a ticket seller if you don't get fucking paid.
Yeah.
Let's go a little deeper. Let's cut a little deeper into this.
Okay.
Okay, because it'll segue right where I want to be. You're fresh out of high school.
Uh-huh.
You say to yourself, you know what? God damn it, I want to be a professional wrestler.
Okay.
So you look around and you find a school and you train. Tell me, as a worker, Ryan, how long, on average, would you say you had to train for before you can even set foot
It's different for
into
everybody.
a ring?
It's different for everybody.
Mine was 6 months, almost 8 months.
I was about 8 months.
Yeah, mine was like 6, 8.
About 8 months.
Well, all right. Consider
Gallo
that people,
was about 3 months.
Consider that people learn on a different level, and some people just have it.
Yeah. Alex
You know?
Reynolds was like 3 months. The guy literally, from what I'm told, and I'm talking about like Papa Don told me about this, and like
But
so many other guys told me.
There's,
He didn't fuck up. He knew, like, you teach him something new, and he did it perfectly every time.
but there's one other thing, and you know that. You never stop training.
yeah.
You keep on because there's something new that you can, learn.
And
you
that's
know,
understandable.
And you can turn around and when you're at the
But if
gym.
you had to
We're
put
talking
in,
straight up school, though.
if you had to put an average on it,
But you can't put an average on it.
right? Because people learn different.
No.
Yeah, and that's the fucking loophole
But
that
when
these
you-
ticket sellers use.
Yeah.
When do you
yeah.
turn to yourself? For you, let's ask this question
Okay.
for you. When did you turn to yourself and say, I am ready for the ring?
I
What
didn't.
was the moment?
I didn't. I had them tell me I was ready.
Because
There's the difference.
And
worker never
therein
knows.
lies the difference.
The worker never
They
knows.
told me I was ready.
The trainer should know.
So when I started working for USA Pro, because this is how far back we have to go for me,
Yeah, that's old,
Frank
man.
Goodman, right? That's what I was told. You're ready to work a show. Okay. We're going to make you a wigger. Okay. I didn't have a say in it. This is my fucking first show. What do I? So I went out there. I was a wigger. That was my gimmick. Yeah.
A wigger,
I didn't know that.
Jewish wigger.
Yeah, well, nobody really knew I was Jewish. I didn't have a tattoo yet. I didn't have any tattoos when I first started working, actually. But yeah, that was it. They told me I was ready, and then they told me what I was going to do, and I fucking jobbed out for like the first 9 shows I ever worked before I won a match, and that was it.
There you go.
See?
But they told me. I didn't tell them. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? If I would have said, hey, listen, I'm fucking good enough to work, they would have fucking beat the shit out of me the next day in training.
Yeah, they definitely. I worked with NYWC, and that was tough.
And then I stopped wrestling for a little while, and then when I got back into wrestling, you know what I did? I went back to school. I went and trained again. Stopped for a few years. Felt the need that I had to go back and train again. That's when I went back to NYWC.
Yep. So if you had the chance where you're training, they release you to do matches, don't stop training. It's not gonna. You keep on training. You know
why NYWC is such a
Definitely.
good school? And why they're such a good product? Every single one of their guys that works their shows is still there. I think it's still Tuesdays and Sundays. And
Yeah,
they're at the
it
training.
is.
Every guy. The Big O, who was their champ for how long, is there every Tuesday and Sunday training. With everybody. From the new guys that just signed up for training to the guys who already worked the shows. Everybody's there. Every single guy. That's why I loved NYWC so much.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
training. Now, me and Gallo, like he was saying, we kind of got it a little bit rough because we were there during a transitional phase. That was a little rough for them. You know what I'm saying? But I still, to this day, say, hey, listen, Pat Buck was pretty much the head trainer for the most time that I was there. You know what I'm saying? While whatever the reason is with Pat Buck and NYWC having a falling out, it is what it is. I did learn a lot from Pat Buck. He did teach me a lot of shit. Shit that I still use right now in my matches. You know what I'm saying? Because I went back and got trained again after I stopped wrestling. I could fucking point out every single guy on whatever roster you want to look at, and I can say that guy is not fucking trained. Within the first 2 minutes of the match. Shit, the first minute of the match I'll know. That guy's not trained. And here's the thing. You want to find out, let's bring some guys on that want to claim they're legit workers. Tell me who trained you. Most likely I have their number in my phone. Let me call them up and say, hey, did you train such and such? Because most likely they're going to say fucking no.
There you go.
So there you go. You're not a trained wrestler unless the guy who trained you will vouch that he trained you.
And that mostly should be vouched to the promoter when you approach them. I'm a worker.
Yeah. You ask Jack Gallo, hey, Gallo, who trained you? He'll mention Pat Buck, right? But he'll say most of the credit goes to Crusher Dugan. If you crawl up Crusher Dugan, he would be like, yeah, I trained Gallo. Simple as that. That's why I say, for the most part, Pat fucked my second go-around.
And there you go.
My second go-around, I was in the training class that I was in there with was Jack Gallo and Nicky Adams.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
So Nicky Adams, Jack Gallo, and ATL were all in the same training at the same time. Think about that for a second.
Now we know why. Now it all comes
Why
out.
do I push so hard for Nikki?
Yeah,
because
now we
one,
know.
she's still fucking dope, right? And I
Yeah.
pushed just as hard for Marty Bell, and I don't know Marty Bell for shit. I think I met her once, you know. But,
Still don't know her. All
but
right.
Nikki was dope, and I've actually seen how she started too, and how she progressed, which is amazing, amazing. You know. And there's a few other guys, but from what I remember, most of the other guys didn't stick it out all the way. So really, the three from that class were me, Gallo, and Nicky Adams. And Stockade, not remembering my name for the first 6 months. Yeah.
Apparently, he knows who you are now.
Yeah. But a big part of it too. When I came back the second go around, I had help from another promoter. It wasn't even NYWC after we left the training over at NYWC because, like I said, it was a transitional period, and some things went a little awry. They bounced back super quickly with the whole Pat Buck situation, whatever the hell it was. I still don't know all the details. And me and Gal started working in Jersey, and that's when Mike Morgan came out. And so Gallo will credit Mike Morgan with a lot of his success as well. Stockade was. That's a good promoter. He's one of the few. Bring it back full circle with promoters and wrestlers. Okay, there you go.
Okay, there
you got
you
me
go.
into range. You start talking about workers, I'm going to start going off about workers.
Promoter of the year.
Yeah.
Mr. Mike Morgan.
But Shane and them are also, like Curse and all them, they're amazing over at NYWC. I'm not trying to take any credit away from them.
Definitely are.
Yeah.
Which leads me to another quote-unquote brand of worker that I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
And that is the promoter's ATM.
Are we talking about the guys who paid the promoters to get on shows?
Exactly.
Why don't you
Let's
just say
say, what?
Why don't you just say that?
I know. Why don't you just say that, man?
Because when you look at
Because
it, that's exactly what it is.
I'm looking
you as
at-
a promoter, you're putting on a show. You get a text. Yo, $400 for me to be on your show.
You know what? Honestly, those kind of guys are okay to bring in. But,
What?
Wait 1 minute. The only way is, are they trained? If they're willing to pay a spot to go up against, like I had the Pope the show.
Fuck that.
If you want to pay to go up against the Pope and you had 10 years of training, fine. But honestly, I think you're an asshole to pay to go into
But
a
you're
show
still
at
going
all.
to take it, aren't you?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't.
And
no,
Tom,
I wouldn't.
wait, you just said you would.
You said you would.
It depends on the
All right,
circumstances.
so let's say this. You bring in...
Tommy, you know me. I've trained. I'm a legit worker, right? Hey, you're bringing in...
AJ Styles.
You're bringing in
Just say
AJ Styles, right?
Oh, wow.
You're bringing in AJ Styles. I'll pay you the $1,000 if I let me work him. Do you take it?
In something like that, if you had training, yeah, why not?
See,
Because you just paid for him to be there.
Yeah, which is
You
bad.
just paid his bill.
Which is bad. Which is killing the business. You're a worker. You're not paying somebody else's fucking salary.
By the worker doing it, they're the assholes more than anything.
Yeah, and they're killing
know?
it. But by you accepting and allowing
me-
that,
Well,
All
wait
right,
a
now-
second. Wait a second. Let me try to approach this from a fan's end, and then you can argue with me or whatever.
one of my close friends in wrestling used to do that, and I used to fucking be like, "Stop fucking doing that."
Okay, well,
I
let me,
had some
let me
guys
toss
actually,
a scenario at you. Let's use poor AJ Styles.
Okay.
AJ,
I'm sure AJ Styles is not poor. But let's go.
well, right, but AJ
Yeah.
Styles comes into Stronghold Wrestling, and I'm going to
Okay.
use you because you're sitting right here, and you'll understand. AJ Styles comes into Stronghold Wrestling, and he wants to work a show.
Okay.
Okay, now you're bringing in AJ with no storyline,
Okay.
no story arc. He's only doing a one-time appearance,
Okay.
maybe this year, so you've got nowhere to go with him. So there's
Okay.
no story arc, right?
Okay.
And then you find out that he's bringing him in, and you have all these years of experience.
Okay.
But you want to be guaranteed that you work AJ Styles. So you then turn to Tommy and say, Tommy, I'll give you $1,000 if I can work AJ Styles. What's the problem with that?
Because why the fuck am I paying another worker's salary?
On my behalf, I think that worker would be stupid to do it. And there's unexperienced guys.
Why am I paying
that do it?
But
Sean,
this is what I'm
Sean,
asking from a fan standpoint.
Okay, from my standpoint, as a worker, why would I ever do that? Do you pay your coworkers' salaries? Do you pay
But
them?
my coworkers don't do my job. You
You know what I'm
understand?
saying? But, you know what I'm saying? The whole point is, right? I work for a DJ entertainment company, right? I don't pay my coworker so that he'll be at that show with me as my DJ when I'm emceeing.
Well, we're not.
My boss pays him because
yes.
that's his fucking job.
Yes. Okay, you understand that. All right. Let's spin it to a DJ standpoint.
Okay.
All right. So you're emceeing a party.
I'm never gonna let go of any of my salary to make sure that I have the DJ there that I want.
Hell no,
It's not happening.
Okay. Well, wait. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let's say Green Lantern contacts your boss
Okay.
and says, "Yo, I want to do a special appearance. I want to work a party.
Okay.
A special appearance just to hype your company." Okay.
Okay.
Would you then not consider saying, "Yo, I'll throw you $200 so I can work with him"?
No, because this is how my business works. This is my name on the contract for that show. It's my fucking show. End of story. He wants to come and work? Fine. Then he's got to work with me. I ain't paying shit.
Maybe that was a bad analogy.
Yeah, that was.
Why would the Undertaker pay part of Sting's fucking salary to work him at WrestleMania?
You're talking about the Undertaker
Why
and Sting.
would Undertaker pay for Sting's salary to work at WrestleMania?
He wouldn't, and he shouldn't, because you're talking about the Undertaker.
That's the promoter's
and Sting.
problem. If the guy's too much money, don't book him. If you're a worker, you're supposed to be getting paid. If I find out, hey, listen, I was in line to wrestle AJ Styles, and then Gallo swooped in, and Gallo paid $1,000 to Tommy so he could work AJ Styles. I'm going to fight Gallo backstage. That was my fucking spot that you came in and you paid.
For example, of the
Gallo
first
would never do
Stronghold
that, by the
show.
way.
Yeah,
I
no,
know
he wouldn't. But like with the Stronghold show,
I'd fuck
Over
him
the
up.
Limits, we had Big Jim Sullivan versus a Pope. Jim got paid to wrestle against the Pope because Jim is
The
experienced.
way it's supposed to be.
And that's how it should be. But if in my shoes, if I have some idiot wrestler that's been wrestling for 10 years, 5 years, but trained, and he says, I'll give you $500 to take that spot, you go duke it out with him, but give me your money.
What if the
Why
spot
not?
wasn't his to originate?
If it was an open spot, then I would say, fine. You want to buy it? You're paying for him then. You're paying his salary. But there is guys out there that are stupid that will do it.
Here's the thing, Tommy. Do you realize that you're hurting the business?
I want to know. See,
in a way, it's
because
not.
here's what's going to happen. This whole wrestling business, right? It's a fucking game of he said, she said, right?
It's an
I
eternal
find out that
backstage
Sean
politics.
paid you. That Sean paid you to work AJ Styles for that show, right? I'm going to turn and say, this motherfucker Tommy C, the only way we'll ever advance is if we pay him some fucking money.
Now you see, now we're getting to the issue.
Yeah.
So
Now-
fuck Tommy C, he fucks the boys.
Yeah. So now, do you see?
So do you see how you
Why?
accepting the money
It took us
hurts?
a while.
Yeah.
It took us a while to
But
get here.
now
but
you
we
see.
got here.
But do you see? I wouldn't do that because you know why?
You just said you would,
Hey,
Tommy.
listen, if the guy has
You
the
would.
money,
And Tommy, I'm telling you right now, if I'm in the locker room and you take that money, I'm going to be the first guy that says, fuck Tommy C.
but honestly, my company is just starting its foundation, and I was in ECPW, and let me tell you, and I'll blow up a little bit of ECPW. When they had guys that Greg the Hammer Valentine, Tony Atlas come in, there was guys knocking at the door to pay Gino Caruso money. Every promoter gets it. I had somebody come in and
Every
knock at my
promoter's
door.
wrong.
Yeah, a lot of them will take the
Long-term
money.
effects.
And honestly, in my company, and I said I would, but you know what? It's if I needed
If
the
a
money.
promoter wants to argue with me about that, then fuck you. You're killing my business that I want.
Yeah, if I needed the money and I can't pay that guy, like Ryan said, don't book him. You can't afford him, don't book him. Okay? That's why
Me as a promoter, I would never do it.
my top guys on my main event, the Pope, he was paid and done.
Here's
I
the
don't
thing.
need your money.
Here's the thing. I ran officially two, one promotion, two official shows back in 2011. Or 2011, first part of 2012. Whatever it may be. Maybe 2022, whatever. Years don't fucking matter. I did two shows. First show, we got a call. We were running in Jersey. We got a call from Mike Morgan and said, hey, yo, just so you know, Jay Lethal, he's home. He's in New Jersey right now, and he heard about your show. And, you know, me and Jay Lethal go back. Jay Lethal trained for Ace under Mike Morgan. And he said he heard about the show. He's looking, work this weekend, blah, blah. Would you want to book him? I said, well, how much is he asking for? So we got on the phone. We contacted Lethal, all that, blah, blah, blah. He said, price. I said, all right, it's last minute. Let's book him. So we booked him. We made money the show, even last minute. That's the way it's going to be. He worked Mike Magnum, your hero.
Your hero.
And Jack Gallo.
Mike Magnum.
Mike and Jack did not pay a single cent to work Jay Lethal. That's the way it's supposed to be. We made money, and that was it.
They get paid. That's how it should be. So that whole thing of, like, you have ATM money marks, no good.
Ditch the ATMs, book the ATLs. Just saying.
Wow.
Just saying. If you had more workers like me on your cards, you'd probably have a more creative card.
If you had more people that went to school, went to training on a regular basis,
If you took 20 guys and you had 5 of them trained, that's awesome. Because now you have 5 fresh guys that you can actually mold them and help create them to have a gimmick and to have the fans react to them.
But shouldn't the point of this is that every wrestler should be trained?
Every wrestler should.
be trained.
But those 15 guys, I think, 3
Unfortunately,
months.
they're not. Which is why I'm all in favor of New York State, which the rumors are going. That
The
wrestlers
rumors
are gonna,
all going around.
That
Yeah.
wrestlers are going to start needing to get licensed again.
Yeah, and I had my license. I have it at home
And
still.
I'm totally for that.
Totally for that.
I think it's a great idea. It's going to raise. It's actually going to be.
Let's get rid of these fucks.
Yeah, because
You don't understand how bad I want to say some of these names.
I paid.
I know, but please let's
Shoot
refrain
show.
from
It's
that.
a shoot show.
It's a
Yeah.
shoot show. So
Back
yes.
in the day
So,
when
but,
they
I mean,
had-
still,
when they had
I don't
the
need to get
license.
it.
Let them call in.
I don't need to get any emails.
Listen,
Well, you be emailing me because I'd be the one saying it, not Sean,
when they had the license
who's a pushover.
for the
I
wrestlers.
am not a pushover.
You know what? Do it, man.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Don't even.
Blow up like a firecracker.
You really want me to, though?
Go for it. Who cares? You know what? This
Sean's
is a
looking at
shoot
me
show.
like, Doug, don't fucking do it, and
You
you're
know,
telling me
who cares?
maybe if it pops up.
Listen. Just
All right.
keep
Back
it as it is.
When the license was there,
we don't need to start.
I was paying
hanging dirty laundry.
$175. Okay. Now it's probably going to be like $300. And if you can't afford it, get the money somehow if you want to be a wrestler. That's all.
And here's the beauty of what I could say. I won't work one of these guys. I refuse to work one of these guys.
And I won't put him against anybody
Well, it
like
doesn't
that.
even matter. I won't work you. So you'll never get an opportunity to stiff me in the ring like you hope. I'm not going to fucking work you because you're not trained. So go fuck yourself. I'm not putting my life in your hands.
Yeah.
You want to fight me backstage? Let's fight backstage.
Yeah, that's all the other promotions out there.
He is in rare form.
Yeah, well,
He
he's
said shoot show. He said state of wrestling.
Yeah.
I love wrestling. And I see these fucking jerk-offs killing my business.
on both sides, because they're gonna make the business sink.
Same thing with referees. Same thing with
Which we
referees.
were exactly going to
Referees-
segue into.
Referees are the biggest marks out there too.
Not all.
I think they should be trained.
Not all of them.
No,
They should be trained,
They
and the
should
good
be
ones
trained.
are trained.
yeah,
And the
half
good
of them
ones are.
And then there's some that were trained that need to realize, hey, you don't have it anymore. Fucking quit.
Hang it up.
Or go and train.
And also, back in the day, the referees even had to get licensed too. So if that goes through, be ready.
But yeah, no, I mean, Jack Gallo had a big vent this past weekend about referees.
Yes, I saw that.
Know? The guy fucked up his match. A referee can fuck up a match, man. Like that. That's why you're supposed to respect the referees and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're just as valuable to the show as the workers, right? And, you know, that's something that NWC taught me. And just all this, I never learned that at USA Pro or whatever. You know, I kind of learned it along the way. But NYWC really hammered that. Respect the referee, because if they want to, man, they can fucking fast count your ass and make you look shit, you know, whenever they want. You know what I'm saying? Some of these fucking referees, though, it's like, yo, one, you clearly never fucking reffed, you know, never got trained. Two, you know, you're fucking it up, even though you know what you're supposed to be doing. You're fucking it up because your body can't hang with it anymore. There's a reason WWE, their referees, they're not fucking 60 years old.
No,
they're not 50 years old. These guys can still move. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason NFL referees are put through strenuous physical, you know, endurance tests, because they have to be able to keep up with NFL players. You know what I'm saying?
And these guys aren't running slow either.
And there's a reason why home plate umpires are fat. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because they fucking
rotate.
stand
well,
there,
no,
man.
well, the way baseball works, they all rotate.
And they have donuts there.
Every fourth game,
donuts
somebody's
in
the
that
home
pouch
player.
instead.
But you look at like, you know, a guy like Earl Hebner, right? Tell me that you haven't seen him slow down over the years.
But he's still got it.
He's still got it, but he's slowed down.
Yeah.
So give it another 5-6 years. Let's see if him, who's probably pushing what at that point, 70 or something like that. He's got to be
I
close.
think he's
to
like 67, 68.
So you figure in a few years, if he's pushing 70, can he really keep going? No, and that's the time you step the fuck down. Hey, if you're a referee and you got bad knees, get the fuck out. Don't fuck up the match.
But you just spoke of a legend referee. I think I think he's awesome. And that's
I don't know.
the
I couldn't
guy
tell
that,
you. He's never refereed one of my matches. So.
But I've worked with them. And
I've had
he
a lot of
should
guys ref
step
my
down soon. And but like you know, we have some indie
referees.
referees.
And this is not shitting on Spaz, right?
There you go.
But here we go. Let's talk about it.
Do it.
Corey Price. You know, the whole controversy that took place on our Facebook the day after the award show was around Corey Price. He's legitimately trained. I've been in the ring with him. He does a fantastic job. John Q. Been in the ring with him. Does a fantastic job. Worked Robbie Rebel at the Stronghold show. Spaz was the ref. Spaz fucked up a couple of spots. Made them look a little weak. That makes the match flow differently. Why? Probably because he was a worker who transitioned into a ref but never officially got trained to referee. Somebody needs to grab that kid and be like, yo, you need to train as a fucking referee.
Well, he's, you know, I
couldn't be a referee.
I know, you put my company out there, but I brought him in.
I'm putting you out there.
You know, he has worked
I'll
several
shoot on
matches.
Stronghold.
He had several matches with DCPW.
But I told him.
He's got to train, definitely.
But I told him after the match, he came up to me and said, how was it? I said, this spot you fucked up. And Rebel just kind of, you know, we're backstage, and Rebel's like, yeah. I said, in this spot, you fucked up. Then this spot, you did good at. You know, because I'll give credit where credit needs to be due. You know, I'm never going to be one to be like, Sean, you fucking muncho-eating fuck. Stop, blah, 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 right? And just shit all over him. I'll say, hey, Sean, that was good. That was good. This was good. This was good. Same way when you guys brought me on to do the radio show, right? I said, this is what's good, and this is what's bad. Yeah.
And the good list was about half the bad list.
Yeah. So, and step by step, week by week, we have tried to shift into a more good list. There's still things about the radio show that I still see that are wrong that we need to fix. We need to get there. I'm not saying it's an overnight thing. I'm not saying, hey, Spaz, I talked to you once. You're going to be a great referee now. No, he's going to fucking make these mistakes again. But he should train as a referee.
Yeah, well, I had told him actually after the show, I said, you got to go train. I said, because I've seen the fuck-ups, and honestly, I don't accept it.
Yeah, so when you guys came to me, and we were talking about Referee of the Year, and I said, I've been in the ring with 4 of these guys. These are the 2 I'll say that deserve it. You know, especially since it was this year. And I said, these are the 2 that deserve it for this year. I've been in the ring with them both this year. Those are the 2 I'll vouch for. And one of those 2 was Corey Price, who went on to win. Just so happened, he also got the fans voting as well. So God forbid, I vouched for a guy who actually wound up with the fan voting. And no, I'd never trained with Corey Price. Because that was somebody else's argument. I did not train with Corey Price. He was a referee. I'm a wrestler. Where did I train with him? He trained at NYWC at one point. Not with me.
There you go.
And John Q, who I only met this year. I only met him this year. And I'm still vouching for the guy.
I think he's awesome. I remember John Q back in FTW. So I think he's awesome.
So let's put that rumor to rest. Me and Corey Price. Anyways. That's my rant about referees. And there's a bunch of, you know what, with the state of wrestling? Oh my God, you just fart.
Yes, I
Oh,
did.
you fucking nasty fuck, Tommy. There's a whole bunch of other things about wrestling. It's not just the promoters and the workers. It's the culture that needs to fucking change as well. Because the state of wrestling, I had this conversation, I won't say with who, but about old media versus new media. Anybody else know this contemporary tale of old media, new media?
No, but I
Sean,
guess you're
okay.
gonna relate.
The classic
Weren't we
example.
talking about that like 2 weeks ago?
Yes, but it wasn't you who I had
I
this
know,
conversation
it wasn't me
with
who
in
you
particular.
originally had the conversation with.
The old media versus new media is old media, when a new media comes along, has two choices. It can either A, die, or B, adapt and evolve. So when radio was the only thing that you had, right, before television came along, radio was the shit.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yep,
Right?
you sat around on Saturday night and you listened to
And and
whatever
you
it
had
was with the Oval
people
team.
freaking out because they thought Martians were really invading because radio was the only thing that they had, right?
Yes.
And then television came along. Radio had two choices: either die or adapt. So what did radio do? They switched over to music, something television wasn't dealing with. So radio, that's why we have AM and FM.
Yep.
So radio adapted and it survived. What's going on right now, old media, new media? Physical newspapers. They're dying because they couldn't adapt fast enough to the internet and all these other things. So, well, here's the thing about them. They're always it's gonna stick around for a while because there's old people who don't know how to use tablets and they don't know how to use the internet, right? But their market is dying as well. Literally. Old people are dying. So eventually, in the next 20 years, if it even takes that long, newspapers are just done. They're done for. That's why they're all switching over to, Newsday has an app on your phone. I used to love actually holding a newspaper every day in high school and reading it. Yes, I was actually in high school reading newspapers because I gave a shit.
So you're a nerd.
No, because I was smart. There's a difference between being a nerd and being smart. I was smart. Because I was still getting pussy every day. So newspapers, right? Newsday has an app. I haven't actually physically held a newspaper in years. Adapt or die. Wrestling in this particular case, wrestling is the old media.
How would you put that as old media?
Because UFC exists now.
UFC sucks. I hate it.
Yeah, well, you tell that to the millions upon
and
millions of people.
Don't worry. I have a friend of mine, and he owns a MMA company. Matter of fact, same day the next Stronghold show is, he has a show at St. Joseph's College.
Okay.
And his show is damn good, but
MMA,
I'm not crazy about it.
But it doesn't matter because you're part of the old media, Tommy.
Don't worry. I'm
media
new, baby.
is wrestling, and new media is MMA. Why do you think nobody gives a fuck about Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao now? Yeah. Nobody cares. Boxing is old media that never evolved, never adapted. They still have 3 champions per weight class. Who the fuck cares? Can you tell me who the 3 heavyweight champions in boxing are right now?
I don't know, and
exactly.
I don't care.
I couldn't, and I actually like boxing.
I like
never
boxing, yeah.
followed boxing.
Okay. Point being is, boxing was old media and never adapted. Wrestling is old media. It has 2 choices here. Adapt or die. Because it will. One or the other.
It's true.
So, there's these golden rules that I fucking can't stand about wrestling. Because they're so old school that, move on. Move the fuck on.
And what exactly are these golden rules?
like there's so many. You know, I just to think off the top of my head, like,
Oh man.
yeah, it's just these stupid unwritten rules or whatever the hell the case may be.
Try
Maybe
to do your best to give me 5.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you at least this. I could probably come up with like 1 or 2 off the top of my head right now. I will sit down. I'll think about it tonight. Tomorrow on the Heel and Face Facebook page, I will post a huge note about my thoughts on these golden rules.
Speaking
right?
about Facebook
Wow.
posts, we're going to go into that more in a little while. But go ahead.
Oh yeah.
First one that I hate, this fucking handshake shit.
What?
Can we please get rid of that?
What handshake?
Like every time we show up to a show, we give each other handshakes.
Well,
I
Why?
hate that.
it's
Why would you get rid of that?
Why the fuck do we
Yeah.
need that?
well, that's out of respect to each other.
just-
You know what? Don't drop me on my head. How's that for respect? I'd rather that than the handshake. I'd rather you not drop me on my head and we don't shake hands than you shake hands and you drop me on my fucking head.
Wait a second. So what you're telling me is on the same line.
Respect is not given through a handshake.
No, it's not. It's
Can we please be honest with
You
one
want a
another?
kiss instead?
How many guys did I have to shake hands with at Stronghold? I could
28.
give a fuck if you got in that car and died.
You had to do 28.
I
of them.
don't care. There's so many guys. I'm not gonna shake your fucking. I just stopped. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking shake your hand unless I want to shake your hand. End of story. You know,
That's why they hate you.
I don't give a shit. I don't care. It's a business. It's not a friendship.
it's
I
tradition.
don't shake Gallows' hand every time I see him. He's my best friend.
It's tradition, is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, you know
Just
what?
like at the end of it, at
And
the
you know
end of
what's
the
also
playoff
tradition?
series.
You know what's also tradition?
What?
Only heterosexuals getting married in the United States of America. Guess what? Traditions die.
Yeah. So yeah, he's got
So
a point
fuck
there.
traditions.
It's a tradition.
Who
It's a
cares?
locker room thing.
Who cares?
Just like
we can
at-
come up with one thing, something that's better.
He
It's
just
called
said.
"Don't drop me on my fucking head." How'd that tradition?
Just like the end of the playoffs, the NHL, the players that get together, form a line, shake each other's hand. Great series.
Yeah. Okay.
They would fucking hate me in the NHL. That's all I'm saying. Don't drop me on my head. How's that? That's the better tradition.
That's
This
true,
handshake
man.
shit it just bothers me. Like I don't care.
Why
I
does it bother
I
you?
see its point, but really, respect is earned through the course of time, not through a fucking handshake.
He's got his point there, but
It's
you
just
know,
a general courtesy. I don't
But
think
it
respect
really
is
was
the right
a
word
way
either.
of saying, "Hey, are you really a worker?" Why are you
but
shaking my hand so fucking hard?
Because you held it out.
Because you're not a worker, you fucking prick. That's where it
You're
really
not,
started
yeah.
from, Sean. Let's
Yeah.
see if you can do the worker's handshake. That's
That's
Are
it?
you really a worker? Okay, you were. Okay, that's where really it started from, Sean.
That's kind of dainty.
yeah,
know?
it's not that.
Why don't you just like curtsy?
How about you just don't fucking shake my hand unless you actually respect me and want to shake my hand?
And I shook everybody's hand in
It's
that locker room, and you know what? Every one of them came up with that bull handshake.
I
And you
don't
know
care.
what? Bull handshakes suck. I don't want that.
Me and the Pope didn't shake hands. And did you see us fucking with each other backstage?
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah,
that was some
he-
Hey,
funny
when we weren't
stuff.
shaking hands. Do you think he sat there and said, "Oh my God, this motherfucking purple Power Ranger didn't shake my hand. I'm gonna fucking rip his"? No, he's like, "Yo, whatever. We're just talking, we're bullshitting, we're fucking with each other backstage."
That was some funny stuff too.
Yeah, he blessed them too, I heard.
So, hey, yo, oh, the fucking handshake. Oh, I don't care. Can we get rid of that?
You know what? We'll make it 2-day, no more handshaking in Stronghold.
Yeah, let's see.
That's
how many
it. Let's
people
see.
follow that.
Let's see if any of the guys that hear
Let's put up a
this
sign.
and yeah,
Put up a sign and remind these guys. You don't have to shake hands. Just put the sign up. You don't have to shake hands.
yeah. If you want to kiss each
If
other,
you
whatever,
want to shake
fuck,
hands,
whatever.
go right the fuck ahead.
All right, so let's move on. What's
not
another
mandatory.
one that you can't stand?
All right, this is going to be one, and people are going to be like, "Oh, this is so fucking biased." You know what? I don't need every wrestler to be 6'4", 250 pounds of solid muscle.
I agree with that.
I don't want that. I want variety. People want variety.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's why we have
You need
Fruity
variety.
Pebbles
You can't
and
have.
Cocoa Pebbles. People want variety.
And I guess
Yeah,
Rice
the
Krispies.
variety pack when you buy the little
You know,
cereals.
So
that's
I,
it.
I
yeah.
want guys who are 6'4", 250 pounds, and I want guys who are 600 pounds, and I want guys who are 150 pounds, and I want guys who are 200 pounds, and I want tall guys and short guys and fat guys and skinny guys and this guy and this guy, and black guys and white guys, and all this kind of shit. And I want to see all these different guys in a wrestling ring do the job that they're supposed to do it well, and call it a day.
train.
I
train,
agree with
train.
that.
That's it.
And it's not just because I'm a fat person.
You know,
Yeah.
I you know, like wrestling is better when there's variety.
Yep. Come on, look at the Wild Samoans.
And this
you know. Daniel Bryant. He's not the tallest guy in the world. He's my height. I'm the same height as him. And like you're saying, having like a
I want variety.
Yeah, that's it. It has to be.
Simple as that.
But train.
I just
train,
think so.
train.
If listen, I'm. This is gonna come off way worse than it's supposed to be. But I mean, you shouldn't have to go. You shouldn't have to turn on Monday Night Raw and look at a Muscle Factory. You shouldn't.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
Wrestling back in the 80s and for the beginning of the 90s had your Kamalas and your, and your Andre the Giants who weren't brick shithouses.
Yeah, it was a variety. You
had your Rowdy Pipers who had their little beer gut showing or whatever the case may be. Jimmy Superfly Snuka, he wasn't cut like he was chiseled in grease.
He was toned.
Which reminds me, Jimmy Superfly, because they reopened the investigation to the 30-year-old murder. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yes, they're reinvestigating the suspicious murder of that woman that was found in his hotel room or whatever the hell, because he was the only lead suspect. If they find him guilty, he should be out of the Hall of Fame. But continue.
Oh, we're gonna go over the Hall of Fame and the whole Facebook thing soon. But I mean, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Like I want to see the Fabulous Moolahs and the Mae Youngs wrestle.
Like what you're saying is TNA is like that. TNA has that. It's a variety of different.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's
not like few and far between.
Like your biggest guy there is Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Your muscular guy there is Rob Terry. It's
like I want to see like few and far between, like Ryan said. Like I want to see somebody like, to use an example, I want to see somebody like Lita wrestle, but I also want to see somebody like Fabulous Moolah wrestle across the ring from her. Fabulous Moolah could go. She wasn't nothing to look at, but she could go.
I bet you did. Don't worry about it. We know.
Yeah, so I hate this idea that, whatever. And it's not to knock guys who are 6'4", 250 pounds of solid muscle, because
let them in the ring.
Like
let
you
everybody
can get over still. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's stupid that you have to be a certain physical and anybody tells you have to be that, they're full of fucking shit. They're just believing what the machine in this case is the WWE, what the machine wants. No, you're a promoter. You know what I'm saying? You work for a promotion. You know what I'm saying? The promotions determine what they want. Me personally, and I think most wrestling fans would be like this, we just want good fucking wrestling matches with great stories behind them. I don't care who's this big and who's that big. If they're such good workers, they will make it believable. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe when Rey Mysterio wrestles the Big Show, that Rey Mysterio can actually beat this motherfucker because of the way they work together.
Mm-hmm.
You
like a good David and Goliath
and I
story.
can't tell you how many times in real life I've seen a big motherfucker at the clubs, when I was in high school, get knocked the fuck out by a dude who was a $120, soaking wet with a brick in his pocket and steel-toe boots on. Get knocked the fuck out in one shot. You know what I'm saying? So don't tell me that, this small guy's not believable beating the shit of this big guy. Shut the fuck up. There's enough violent video out there on YouTube, and this is the beauty of social media. Wrestling, adapt or die. People now understand small guys can kick just as much ass as big guys.
Amen.
Hence, UFC, when it first started, there were no weight classes, and Royce Gracie went through every single guy, whether they were 400 pounds, 200 pounds, 300 pounds, and fucked them all up.
And
Royce
retired.
Royce Gracie, Ken Shamrock, made that motherfucker tap out in like 2 minutes. Ken Shamrock, world's most dangerous man, tapped out in 2 minutes to Royce Gracie with his little karate outfit on, who wasn't really, wasn't 190 pounds of solid fucking muscle.
But
just an average looking dude. Fucked him up.
You need your David and Goliath, and you can do less, and it actually looks less when you put King Kong against Godzilla.
Well, coming through my ring, through the company, I have Cronus, who's almost 5 and change. And then I have, Ryan, ATL. What are you, $1.50? $1.70.
But I look like a buck.
You know what? But the whole thing is, like Ryan said, have the variety. Bring it to
my
the
job
people.
as the worker to make you believe that my 170 looks like it's 140 pound ass can beat a guy. You know what I'm saying? That's bigger than me. It's my responsibility as a worker to do that.
I hear you, man. Definitely.
If people don't buy it, then they won't fucking actually buy it. Right?
It's true. Yeah.
So there you go. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
No.
But I'll think about it tonight, and I'll have a nice lengthy post about this, and we can post this on Facebook.
Definitely.
Okay, so
anything else you want to get to before we end the show?
I think that we should spend a couple of minutes and summarize the whole thing.
Got it. Promoters, workers, referees, fans, dickheads.
All of them are dickheads.
I think what we should do is...
You didn't call in. I'm disappointed. I wanted to argue with somebody.
I know. You're all dickheads. That's it.
I think what we should talk about right now is what can be done to change the scene positively. In your opinion.
Chop the dicks off.
Can we get someone of...
No, seriously, in all seriousness, beat the shit out of anybody who doesn't belong.
Stop ticket sellers, number 1.
Beat the shit. Walk out. Protest. Yeah. CM Punk, take your ball, go home.
That's it. Yep.
No, I'm dead serious, though, Sean. You're looking at us like that. No, I'm serious. Yeah. Hey, this show's got a ticket seller on it. You know what I'm saying? Demand that you get paid up front, and then you find out there's a ticket seller on the show, walk the fuck out with your envelope money. Watch how fast promoters will turn around and be like, well, we're not going to use ticket sellers anymore. I just lost my 3 biggest stars.
That's it. There you go.
Not putting anybody on blast, but let's just say, SWA, I'm familiar with more of their roster than anything, right? If Grim Reaper, Jack Gallo, Necro Butcher, and, I don't know, Stockade, let's just say, all said, Jerry, pay us up front, right? And they paid him up front. And then they found out that, I don't know, 2 other guys on the show were literally selling tickets to get on the shows, right? And those 4 guys said, you know what, Jerry? You use ticket sellers, we're walking the fuck out. Do you think Jerry would use ticket sellers his next show when he lost his 4 biggest draws?
Probably not.
Probably not, right? So that's how you get rid of this problem. Get paid up front, walk the fuck out if you find out there's ticket sellers or yarders or people who aren't trained on the shows.
All right, let's break this down into the separate categories that we have. In your opinion, what can promoters do to better the scene?
Stop fucking the workers. Dead serious. Just stop fucking people over, man.
In my defense of any of it, is to get, like what Ryan said, get rid of your ticket sellers. If your guys in your locker room months before the show, when you book them, and like in Ryan's case, came to me and said, hey, give me tickets, that's fine. But if you have a ticket seller in that locker room, you should protest. You should say, no, I'm not working. I'll sit down right here and wait until you get rid of them.
And on the flip side, Sean, if you're a promoter and a guy tells you he's going to show up and no shows, never fucking book that dude again.
Now, I'm going to, you know what? We're allowed to shoot.
Fuck you, Bobby Blue Jay.
There you go. We're allowed to shoot. That's the one that I'm shooting on is Bobby Blue Jay. He was supposed to be at the show, and he didn't show up. Sorry, man. You did it to yourself. I will never, ever, ever, while I'm alive, book you in Stronghold at all.
Simple as that. Don't book him again.
Because if you're going to turn around and fuck me like you did when I had to take matches and guys and this and that, and I had to do a juggling act where I was missing 1 apple. How, come on. See you later, Bobby Blue Jay. No more.
Yeah, how's that? See, it's not always the promoter that's fucking the worker. Sometimes the worker fucks the promoter.
Yeah.
It's very rare, and it really only comes in the form of no shows.
Of one that had respect for me was Boy Diva Rick Cataldo. Rick Cataldo notified me that he had a family emergency, and he notified Nikki Adams, which is fine. You know, the family, no matter what, your real family comes first.
So he not only called you.
Yes.
But he
notified his
he
opponent.
Called his opponent.
Yes, he did.
That's a straight up class act.
Yes, and Rick Cataldo gets a 5-star because that guy
out of 5, right?
Yeah,
because that wouldn't be good if it was out of 10.
Yeah, straight up, he's one hell of a person, man. He's what you call pure talent. He has respect, and the respect is for the business. And now going inside of the business, the promoter and his opponent. That's what it's about. So Bobby Blue Jay, just sit on your perch in your bedroom and stay there.
Stay in your fucking nest, you faggot.
All right? Because this
and I can
bullshit,
use that word
not
because my
again.
sister's a lesbian, and she's authorized me to use that word.
Okay. But
we're going to need that in writing.
It's the only authority I need on the subject.
So, as a promoter, we're just going to recap quick. You need to stop using ticket sellers.
Yeah, ticket sellers got to go. They have to
go.
go.
Ticket sellers, we mean people who you give tickets
3 months, 2 months work
in advance
training.
and say, sell these tickets.
Well, if your guys, hold up, like I said, though.
With the add-on that they have to sell the tickets to
if
work.
If it's a have to.
That's what I was going to say.
If it's a have to, goodbye. If it's, oh, yo, man.
Yeah, that's
give me
different.
tickets,
Well, we're not counting
that's
guys
where
like
it
me as
goes.
ticket sellers. We're counting me as guys who just happen to sell some
That's
tickets
where it goes.
for you because I said, give me some tickets, I'll sell them for
We've
you.
already pre-established what ticket sellers.
We're talking about ticket sellers, the guys who have to sell tickets to be on the fucking shows.
I would boycott the show.
Or
That's it.
let's go back to that real fast because I feel we forgot to mention something about ticket sellers.
Yeah.
How some ticket sellers are already booked on the show and they have to sell these tickets to get paid. Or what I've heard happen from little birdie sitting on my shoulder and telling me these things is they have to sell their tickets no matter what the number to go over.
That I'm not familiar with.
No,
but
that I.
If you have to sell tickets, you're not a worker. End of story.
No.
I don't like that. Yeah, I don't. It's like racism, bro. You know, do you think a black racist gives a fuck if I'm German or Irish or Italian? No, I'm fucking white. They don't have time to fucking classify me in specific little subsets. No, you're a ticket seller. You're a fucking ticket seller. I don't care what kind of ticket seller you are. Fuck you. Get out of my business.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, black, white, green, it don't matter.
So, all right. So, the promoters need to stop using ticket sellers.
Promoters need to pay their boys or girls. Don't want to be.
And another thing that we didn't quite touch on when we
don't
spoke
fucking
about
stiff.
promoters.
And
That's
the
workers,
thing. That's
man.
the thing. Workers. If a promoter fucking stiffs you, 1, never work for that motherfucker again. 2, spread the fucking word.
Yeah.
Shit. Get paid. If you're supposed to get paid, get paid. If
And-
not, knock the fucking promoter the fuck out.
That's it.
And if you're working, you should be paid at least something.
Yeah.
Like, I'll make a prime example. I had Lucas Sane and Zach Vengeance come up to me at the Strong Old Show last Saturday, and they said to me, everybody got paid. Why didn't I? I said, well, what did you guys do for me? I want them to tell me. Because their match was great. It was good. They went against the Sucios.
We're calling it that? I'm not going to say great.
But it was on a
Awkward.
level of 1 to 10.
Oh, now we're using a 10-star scale? What the fuck happened to your 5-star
All right,
scale?
no, that's
Stick with one scale.
All right, we'll go back to the 5 then. All right.
All right.
On a 1 to 5, it was about a
point
3.5.
Point being,
okay.
you didn't pay them?
I
or-
paid them.
Okay.
Because that's respect that they gave me in the ring. They did a great
Who
job.
trained them?
They were trained by Rocky Shore.
Okay. How long did they train for?
About Zach Vengeance did about 8 months, and then started going to a training school out in Shirley, and then Lucas Sane did the same thing. So they're both together, and Mason Shadows. So they were, and I'll put it out there, and they know, they don't mind, they were backyarders. Everybody, if you say you never did a backyard match,
lying.
you're lying, you're full of shit. I used to get hit with light bulbs. I used to do it myself.
I was a backyarder.
And everybody was. But these guys trained. So they deserve the money I
I got videos
gave
and
them.
photos of 1,000 guys who are on the scene right now, legitimate guys in a backyard.
But those
You
two
gotta
guys.
start somewhere.
Yeah, you do.
We're products of the late 90s, the guys that are working right now. Backyarding was the shit in the late 90s. That's what people did. Who gives a shit? You went and got trained? Good. That's it. That's all you got to matter.
You gotta start somewhere.
You do.
You take your bumps and bruises, and you're like, okay, this is for me.
Nobody fucking shits on anybody about playing street football. Why are you gonna shit
Or
on
street
somebody?
hockey, for that matter.
Yeah, why are you gonna shit on somebody for being backyarders?
I started playing hockey in the street, and then I moved up to, paid leagues and stuff.
I played wiffle ball since I was 7 in the street. And eventually, I was better, good enough to make fucking the high school teams varsity for being a catcher. You know what I'm saying? So whatever.
You still play wiffle ball today?
No, I don't. Well,
No?
wiffle ball, yeah, with my family. But
I love wiffle ball, man.
I'll strike your ass out.
Wiffle
it was
ball
hockey
game.
and volleyball for me. That's
it. We're going to do a heel in the face charity wiffle ball game this summer when the weather gets nice. Team Tommy versus Team Sith.
Oh man, which team do I play for?
You're gonna officiate.
No, you're gonna be one of the umps.
I'm not gonna be the ump, dude.
All right, you'll be the bases.
I pitch a mean wiffle ball.
You go get your best. I'll go get my best. There we go. Brand new idea.
I'm a free agent. So
charity wiffle ball
your
game.
offers are accepted right here.
Charity wiffle ball game.
Oh shit.
But yeah, no. As far as everybody workers, and the other thing is stop calling us a brotherhood. We're not a brotherhood.
Who the hell says that?
Wrestling is a fraternity. It's a brotherhood and blah 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 between the workers. You've never heard that before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, we're not.
That's
brothers
crap.
don't fucking stab each other in the back as much as we do.
And you don't drop.
Well,
each
that
other.
might not be necessarily accurate.
No, brothers don't stab each other in the back as often and frequently as we do.
And it's a lot. And there's a lot of it going on lately. Trust me.
How many phone calls do you think we're going to each get tomorrow about what was said here today?
Or messages on
416. Let's move on. Workers, wrestlers. What do you think the wrestler needs to do to improve the independent scene?
Stop thinking you're the shit.
And train. That's
no,
how I'm
stop.
gonna say.
Okay, we're
What you're saying.
They're
and
not
then
workers
adding.
if they didn't train. End of story. So for the guys who actually are
All right,
legit,
I'm sorry.
Stop thinking you're the shit.
Yeah.
Well, stop thinking you're the shit behind the curtain.
Yeah. Well, stop thinking you're shit. Period. Even in front of the curtain. All right. You want to pitch ideas? That's great. Pitch ideas, right? But most people aren't smart enough to see the bigger stage. You know what I'm saying? The bigger picture. Your idea affects everybody else.
It does, definitely. It goes right through the whole locker room. The whole entire... And it goes into other locker rooms. Not only
I pitch
one.
a lot of crazy ideas.
Yeah,
Lots.
yes, you do.
Lots of crazy ideas. A lot of my ideas aren't even about me.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm just creative like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I pitch more ideas for Gallo than anybody else. You know? But it is what it is. But, stop stabbing each other in the back. Stop caring about who stuck their dick in which girl. You know?
There's
Seriously.
a lot of
I
that.
can't tell you how many times I've seen workers fight over a fucking ring rat. Like, who cares? Who cares? Go fuck somebody else. You know?
There are plenty of ring rats in the arena.
Mel Sanchez was there.
Oh, I spoke to Mel Sanchez. Off the air. This is a conversation off the air.
I would say so.
He loved the Ring Rat Award. He came up to me and hugged me backstage about it. He was like, that was so fucking great. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm going to bring it back next year. Just stop being douchebags. Just everybody stop with the douchebaggery.
Douchebaggery.
You know what? And I know it's going to be a hard thing, is to try to bring the respect back. And I'm not saying the handshake. I'm saying the respect of each other. Don't think you're better than everybody. You're not. Everybody is equal in that locker room, in every company. Everybody, you're doing a job, and you're doing the job to, where these people, these fans have paid money.
And don't go into business for yourself.
Huh?
Don't go into business for yourself as a worker. Don't do it. That's not your promotion. Don't like the promotion? Leave. Don't go into business for yourself.
Dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in the shadows here.
You know, like you never heard like going into business for himself. Like,
No.
are you fucking kidding? How can you be
I
a
never
promoter
heard
and
of
never
that.
heard that
I
term?
never heard of that, man.
Sean, have you heard of that? Going into business for yourself?
Kind of, but in a different way.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking you to dive into it from the business aspect.
You know, like just in general, like you know, doing something that the promoter didn't ask for and you just fucking did it yourself anyway. Cause
Yeah.
Ah.
going into business for yourself, right? It's not your fucking promotion.
Oh, it sounds like Bobby Dream, man.
Don't fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? You're a piece of shit if you do. Promoter tells you he wants this, go out and do it. Or fucking don't work.
Yeah, true.
CM Punk could have went into business for himself on Monday Night Raw, right? After the Royal Rumble if he wanted to, right? Mm-hmm. Didn't go into business for himself. Just said, I'm going to go take my ball, I'm leaving. Going home.
If that's actually what he did.
If that's what we're assuming happened, then that's what happened. And that's not going into business
a
for
lot
himself,
of
just left.
A few people are calling it like an attempt at a work. The whole
Who gives a shit?
It is what it is. We'll find
Here's
out.
the golden rule I found of work. If it's mentioned or seen on TV, it's a work. If they don't bring this up, it's not a work.
There you go. Referees. What do they need to do to make the scene better?
Just be good at your job.
Yeah, do your job and just
be fucking good at it.
Focus on the match, do what you got to do.
And
That's
don't
it.
ever not sell a fucking wrestler.
Yeah.
Because I will fuck you up for real. I don't care what referee you are. I love Corey Price. I think he's an amazing referee. I like John Q. If they ever no-sold something I did, I would fucking tag him for real. I saw something on a video that was posted this week, and a fucking referee no-sells a fucking weapon. I would have fucking wrapped that weapon across his fucking face for real.
Wow.
Just saying.
See?
And I like the referee.
And you asked. There you go.
I did, and that's why I
Just
asked.
do your job, and you know what? Be absent in the sense of don't fucking steal the show. You're a referee. Nobody paid to see you.
The referee is in the show. That match, whatever.
Oh, and this goes out to the Tough Jim. Stop working battle royals. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah,
Stop
he's-
working battle royals. You can't say that, Tommy. You put him in the battle royal.
Well,
don't work a
he-
battle royal. You're a referee. Be a referee. Stop working battle royals.
Well, he cried and moaned, and he got
Well,
what he
stop
wanted.
working the battle
and
royals,
he is done.
Are
And
you a ref or are you a wrestler?
In SHPW, he's officially a referee, and that's where he's going to stay.
Because it makes the other boys look like shit.
Yeah, that's true.
If I sell one punch from you in a rumble, I look like shit.
And then
You're
he's
a fucking
out.
ref.
Yeah.
You're not a trained athlete or fighter.
No, he's not.
Would anybody believe, that fucking Earl Hebner could legitimately knock the fuck out Brock Lesnar? It could happen. But would anybody believe it?
I doubt it.
Yeah, it could.
Now, in your opinions, what do you think fans can do to improve the scene?
Just sit the fuck up and enjoy the show. Sometimes with these fucking fans, man, it literally becomes just a game of, oh, I'm smart. So they'll chant Husky Harris at Bray Wyatt. Just shut the fuck up and enjoy the character of Bray Wyatt. You fucking marks.
You're right.
Seriously. Oh, you're smart because you knew he was Husky Harris? Who gives a shit? Who cares? Who cares? That's like going to a movie and chanting fucking, Simon Phoenix at Wesley Snipes when you're watching Blade. Who gives a shit he was in another movie under a fucking different character? Who cares? That has nothing to do with what's going on right now.
That's true. Yeah.
Or that's like chanting Arnold Schwarzenegger when you see when him as the Terminator on screen.
Yeah.
It's like, who cares?
He's a
man?
governor. Come on, who cares?
Think about how stupid that would be. If I'm literally watching Blade, right, with Wesley Snipes, and I start chanting at my TV screen, Simon Phoenix, Simon. It's the stupidest fucking thing ever.
You scared me just now.
You
There.
know? Seriously. Do you guys know what Simon Phoenix, what movie that was?
Demolition Man.
There you go. You know, like, think how stupid that would be. That's what people are when they chant Husky Harris at fucking Bray Wyatt.
There's
You have the right to chant whatever the fuck you want,
stupid marks.
but you're just fucking retarded for thinking you're that smart. Like, nobody gives you shit.
Yes, because everybody's there to enjoy what
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt is.
Because you're missing out on the whole character of Bray Wyatt, you fucking idiot. You're punishing yourself.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
goddamn it, boo your heels and cheer your faces.
No, I won't go that far.
I will.
I won't. You don't like somebody? Don't fucking boo 'em.
Even if they're a face, who gives a shit?
I respect the shit out of John Cena, right? Yeah,
I think he's a douchebag.
the guy's a fucking company man, does what he does. He's a shit worker, you know. But hey, listen, that gives me the right to boo the motherfucker. I think you're a shit worker, you know. I'll boo you, you know. And I'll cheer a guy like Bray Wyatt. I love the Bray Wyatt character. That's awesome, you know. Like, you know, or a guy like Damian Sandow. I love that shit. That shit is fucking great. You know, I'll cheer you. You know, a lot of times
Something to look
fans
like,
boo the baby faces if they feel they're shoved down their fucking throats.
Yeah,
That's why
true.
I think like Daniel Bryan is so fucking awesome. It's so organic. Just run with it.
Please run with it.
You know? Let nature take its course. See what happens. You know, I mean, look what happens if you don't. You bring back this megastar in Batista, and he gets booed out of the fucking building. Adapt or die. The two choices.
That's
I
it.
was actually
Yep.
shocked when he was booed out of the building.
I wasn't. You know, I
Well, you're
really
Mark. What do
wasn't.
you know?
I like
I
Batista.
just was shocked because everybody was so hyped on him coming
Dude.
back.
Daniel
Yeah,
Bryan
but-
is so over. Everybody else is a heel by default.
I understand that, but for when the second it was even teased that Batista was coming back, everybody like dropped to their knees like this man could walk on water.
Who did that? I didn't.
Who did?
A lot of people on social
Where?
media were like, "Oh my God, he's coming back! Yay!"
Like Ryan just said, Daniel Bryan is wrestling god now.
That's but you see, when they teased Batista coming back, everybody was like, "Oh my God, it's a great." Then Batista came back, and to everybody, he messed up what
Because
Daniel
I don't think
Bryan
anybody.
had going.
Because nobody has a problem with Batista coming back to wrestle. The problem people have is that he's taking the spot of somebody who's been there that
Right.
they generally
Yeah,
love.
that's
So
what
in
I'm
this
looking
case,
at.
coming
it's
back-
a double whammy because it's Daniel fucking Bryan.
But when he was coming back, they all dropped on their knees. Oh my God, the say he's coming back. And then
But
when
if he would have came back and took fucking Triple H's spot, you think anybody would have gave a shit? Nobody's gonna care.
no, but they all would have enjoyed him being back. That
Yeah.
he came and stepped on Daniel Bryan's toes.
and that's where they fucked up.
Yup. And that's when everybody turned on Batista.
Put it this way: Daniel Bryan so over, not in the Rumble, that when number 30 comes out and it's official, he ain't gonna be in it, and it's Rey Mysterio, who's super over as a babyface, gets booed because he's not Daniel Bryan. That's when you know you have something.
And I honestly,
They
I don't
booed
know.
Rey Mysterio, bro.
I'm gonna take a coin, imaginary coin, flip it in the air, and say, I bet you $10 Daniel Bryan will be there for WrestleMania,
Oh, well,
and
yeah,
get
but-
involved somewhere that Batista is involved. Somewhere he'll
I'll
I
even
think
put
he
it
will.
before that. It'll be sometime during the Elimination Chamber.
Or it could be the McMahons, and they'll just have him job out to the Ultimate Warrior. It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
No.
Mountains,
possibility.
skies,
Just saying.
eagles.
All right, I'm done talking about and shooting on the wrestling business. I got to start thinking about what I'm going to write.
Oh Lord.
So, but before we go, you put up a post on Facebook
Yeah.
on Monday night saying that whoever was inducted into the Hall of Fame, that I would shit on it.
Probably, but it turned out to be Jake Roberts.
No, Jake Roberts
And
is our
then
man.
it was the 2013
Let me ask you this.
Guest of the
Let me
Year.
ask you this. What did Jake ever do in the business, Sean? We had this conversation on Friday, right?
Oh man.
You don't think Jake
How many
was-
titles did Jake win in the WWE?
You don't think Jake
How
was
many
over
titles
huge?
did Jake win in the
You don't
WWE?
think Jake was over huge?
How many titles did Jake Roberts do? That was your big thing, was how many titles and what did he do for the business, right? How many titles did Jake win in the WWE?
None.
0. Coco beware.
But how can
No,
you
I
say
think
that?
Jake is an amazing inductor.
I think he's
yes,
awesome.
and Jake was over.
He's the type of guy who should be headlining it, but
And Jake was all up here, and I'm pointing to my head.
Yeah, and he was amazing at promos.
Wow,
which
I
is
heard
dying
that
up.
noise.
Oh, yeah, it's something wrestlers can do to help the business. Get better at fucking promos, you jackasses. It's not hard to speak.
A number one thing. Promos.
You've been doing it for most of your life.
Do more promos.
Promos.
No, don't do more promos.
No,
do more good promos.
Uh-oh. It's already starting.
Uh-oh.
So,
but yeah.
I'm done. I'm done shooting on my brethren. Even though the ones I was shooting on aren't actually my brethren. Sean, anything else?
What do we got going on next week?
Nothing that I fucking know of. I've been sick. I haven't really thought about it.
Oh, yeah. We've been sick.
You know, we talk about Psycho Circus next Wednesday.
Let's get some people on and talk about Psycho
We
Circus.
can do that. We can talk a little bit more about Stronghold's next show. I don't know if there's a...
Yes, there is.
There's
Stronghold.
a date?
Yeah.
We have a date.
Yep.
When is it?
March 29th. SHPW is going to hit location. You will find out soon.
Nice.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you'll find out.
Do you have a match?
Well, let me just say, I have 2 stars that I'm going to bring in, but I'll give you one.
I just want a match.
No.
No.
Why?
Let him be the promoter, you fucking fan.
No.
I've got to pull. This is my job to Jim and pull it out of him.
I will give you one of the stars.
All right, go ahead.
Just incredible. And
Okay.
the other one is from TNA. And it's a girl.
All right.
No, I should say, I'm sorry. Beth.
I will pay you
apologize.
$1,000 if you let me fuck her in the ring.
I apologize to that person, but it's a woman. Very respectful.
I will pay you $1,000 if you let me fuck her in the ring.
Could you please manage to not get us sued?
Just saying.
Yeah, please, man.
That's what. Hey, man, we're talking about the state of wrestling. I'm willing to pay $1,000 to Tommy to work a match.
Did you just say work a wench?
Well, yeah, kind of.
I'm sick.
But before that happens,
If it's Gail Kim, I'm paying you $1,000 to work a match.
I will not reveal nothing.
But if it is Gail Kim,
But-
wink twice if it's Gail Kim,
My eyes hurt, bro.
because I will work that match.
In February 16th, before I even reveal anything
See
else,
the fanboy in me come out real quick?
Yeah.
Just 'cause she's Asian.
Stronghold Pro Wrestling is definitely going to be busy on February 16th with an autograph signing at the Plainview Holiday Inn.
A lot of
none other than
Jews and Asians in Plainview.
all right. I love.
will be there, of course.
I love everybody.
But it'll just be part of my daily routine.
Yep. But it's going to be in this autograph signing is none other than TNA star, my favorite,
Everybody's
the
your
fist
favorite.
pumper, Robbie E.
Okay.
And also, along with him, from TNA Knockout, Miss Tessmacher.
Can she put her boobies in my face?
I don't think Robbie's going to like that, but you could try.
If I
And
pay her
the
enough, I'd probably
headliner
pay.
for this show that's going to be
Autograph
signed
signing. You said show.
is none of well, it's a show also because it's a sports collectible show
Wait, are they
at
gonna-
the same time.
Are they going to put you in a headlock?
I'll maybe
Are they
if
gonna-
I- yeah, they
Are they
probably
gonna-
will.
Are they going to put you to a table?
Especially this next guy. When I say his name, I guarantee it's going to be something awesome.
We already know it.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
AJ
it's only been all
Styles,
over
yeah.
It's only been
Facebook.
posted to our page
AJ.
7,000 times.
Come on, man! It's none other than TNA star AJ Styles, which is going to be a hot. I'm
Did you just
I'm
call AJ Styles hot?
he
did.
No.
You're a married
He
man,
did.
dude.
Yo, man.
The whole
I'm-
doesn't care. Look at
yeah.
the smile.
She's
on her
allowed
face.
to say that.
Yeah, and also,
Women
you know what?
cheat, men don't.
I'm a promoter, and
Sounds
right
good.
now I did a little marking out because AJ is awesome. When I spoke with him on the phone, he was very excited that he's going to come to Long Island for the first time to do an autograph signing.
Well, very tight, very tight. That's
Yeah.
hood for awesome.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
yeah.
throw that out there. But if it's Gail Kim, seriously, I'll pay you that.
But for the
So she could
March
sit on my
29th
face.
show, you'll see.
Why?
But don't
Because we
forget
don't need
it,
any
man.
sexual harassment.
There's not a
lawsuits.
sexual harassment. I'm unaffiliated with anybody.
Yeah, so
Don't call me that. I know what that means. You fuck. You fucking fugazi.
you fugazi. But don't forget, February 16th, Robbie E., Miss Tess Mocker, AJ Styles, Plainview Holiday Inn. There's no tickets. It's only the first 400 people, and
Just
that's it.
show up, and if you forget, it'll be posted on Facebook 17,000 times a day.
You know what? And we're
Before
going to
the
announce
event.
it. You know what?
All right, I'm done shooting on this business. Can we end this show?
And also what I was thinking about is I'm going to actually...
Continues. He's like a Vinny the Guido over
Wait,
here.
I'm going to say right now is if the heel in the face wants to, we could also do a live interview with AJ Styles that day.
We should probably do that.
We should.
We should.
We should look into that.
Why wouldn't
All right.
we do that?
Well, you know
'Cause
what? We don't have...
I'll be really hungover. Wait, did you say February 16th?
Yes.
I'm going to be super smashed hungover. You might have to be on you, Sean.
Yeah,
I have a bachelor party with Gallo.
We don't
that
have to look into anything. It's already done and set.
And Ricky.
He is willing to do it. When I spoke to him, he actually listens to us every now and then.
AJ, hook me up with Gail.
All right? So, it's awesome.
Tell her to sit on my face.
Hey, this is a shoot show.
We
It's
need,
all right.
we need to get Ryan
I
off
would
the
say
air.
that.
Yeah.
I would say that even if it wasn't the shoot show.
All right. I think we're about
She's
done.
the sexiest woman wrestler I've
Definitely.
ever seen.
March 29th, Stronghold. March 1st, SWA. You know, check out the shows. Support indie wrestling. Definitely.
Greatest match of all time WWE history? Alicia Fox versus Melina.
We're done.
Okay. Are we done?
Yeah.
All right. Gail Kim sit on my face.
So, for the face, the Smooth Voice Sith,
Gail Kim sit on my face.
I'm your 2013 Host of the Year. I'm
even
gonna
though we're
ride
in
that like a harp from
2014.
hell. And the Hall Monitor. See you next week.
Worship
Psycho
the ring.
Circus on
Yeah.
the list.
Yeah, answer your emails.
Worship the ring, people.